Sun is still setting. The LED lights have come on. My name is Alex Hayden. Kyle Rickey is joining me in the broadcast booth. Mike Bagley is off this weekend. Steve Post, Chris Wellner, Wendy Venturini. We've heard from them up and down the pit lane, and we will all night long. In a few moments, we'll bring Dave Moody in. He'll be calling all the play-by-play action in the turns.
Talk about Rajah Caruth here for a moment, coming off a big week last week at the Talladega Superspeedway. Ran up front, has run well here in the past. In a pretty good position, best he has been in here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Sounded confident here just a little bit ago when we talked to him down on the grid. The best driver behind Corey Heim, who's already locked in when it comes to looking at points and what he has to do here later this evening for 200 laps.
Yeah, he did, and that was impressive. The demeanor, the tone of his voice, the words he had with interviewing with Steve Post there. He sounds like a very confident person. Just do the job that he knows he and that race team are capable of. 14 points to the good. Now, I marvel at the fact that these are just normal people, for the most part, doing uncommon things when they get behind the wheels of these race cars, with so much on the line in a lot of these young drivers' career to make the championship for. Let's face it, you're not going to be a champion unless you get through here tonight and be a part of that. So to me, the pressure is absolutely measurable here at Martinsville tonight, but I'm impressed with the way a lot of these young, talented race car drivers are handling the big stage.
He has 14 points to the good coming into this race here this evening, and a little more confidence enhanced by that big announcement this week that he'll be running for Junior Motorsports next year part-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But like Alex mentioned, first has to survive here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway for 200 laps. As we go trackside for opening
Please
ceremonies.
rise as you're able, remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as the Camden County High School Coast Guard Junior ROTC presents our nation's colors. Here to offer tonight's invocation from Motor Racing Outreach, President and Senior Chaplain Billy Malden.
Heavenly Father, we rise up to just recognize your presence in our lives. Lord, your love and your grace and your mercy that surrounds us all. Father, thank you for this beautiful evening here at Martinsville, Lord, and we pray for all these drivers, teams, officials, that everybody would have a safe night of racing. Lord, that everybody would have a good time. There would be great memories made tonight as we've gathered here together. Lord, be with the men and women of our armed forces, both here at home, first responders everywhere, Lord, and their families. Keep them safe as well. Father, let your peace and your presence surround us all. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome from Concord, North Carolina, Lindsey Bowman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Slim Jim 200 coming up next.
NASCAR Live Race Day has been brought to you by Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com.
So you're a Toyota Cup driver and you just made it to the playoffs. Now all you have to do is win. Easy. Just turn left, right? That and start strong, take off, reach 200 miles per hour, maintain a good position, no big deal, lap again, time your pit stops, steer clear of accidents, talk to your crew chief like your best friend, and most importantly, turn left. Easy, right? You in? Get up to speed at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2 by 2 by 2. They're about 10 rows deep of double wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Winning here at the Martinsville Speedway is a difficult task on this tiny little paperclip-shaped half-mile racetrack. You got to fight your way through the traffic. You got to have good pit stops. You got to execute cleanly down there and lead the most important lap, the one where the checkered flag flies. Doesn't mean you have to dominate. Daniel Hemrick won here back in the spring by leading only 4 laps en route to the win in March, the fewest for a Martinsville winner since Joe Ruttman in September of 1995 when he only led 2 laps here at Martinsville. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hello?
Hey, it's your man Tank again. I just talked to the taste buds. We're all worried about you, Tim.
What do you mean? I love eating veggies. The crunch, I've never felt better.
You sure?
I think so.
You're really sure?
Yeah, man. Seriously.
You're not doing this to me, Tim. You're doing this to us. Just rip open some jerky, all right? Jack Link's Beef Jerky, official meat snack of NASCAR. Feed your wild side.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
Live on the NASCAR Racing Network. It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Let's get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll past the race cars today, pal. Oh, boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Tonight, the Slim Jim 200 from Martinsville Speedway. Brought to you by Slim Jim, America's favorite meat stick. Snap into a Slim Jim wherever snacks are sold. By Craftsman. Runs long, works great, won't slow you down. The Craftsman V20 brushless RP lineup. Built for the backyard and beyond. See craftsman.com for details. By Ally Bank. Official consumer bank of NASCAR. Member FDIC. By Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance.
Next week in the series finale at the Phoenix Raceway, we'll be on a 1-mile racetrack, so technically not a short track, even though it has some short track racing qualities. This is the final short track race of the season, and we've had 4 different short track winners already this year.
And the 6 races run. Daniel Hemrick, who we heard from just a bit ago, kicked off the short track portion of the schedule back here at Martinsville in March in Victory Lane. Chandler Smith won at Bristol in April. Also won at the North Wilkesboro Speedway back in May. Lane Riggs won at IRP back in July. At the Richmond Raceway in August, it was Corey Heim and Lane Riggs back in Victory Lane at Bristol back in September. Front Row Motorsports accounting for 4 of the 6 wins, along with McAnally Hilgeman Racing with Hemrick here, and Tricon Garage with Corey Heim at Richmond.
You mentioned Corey Heim a couple of times there, and it's not a surprise to hear you list him as a winner on a short track. Heck, it seems like he wins on everything we do here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. What a season he's put together here, winning the regular season championship. Has been the first driver to advance now to the championship 4. Is there more pressure on him to win this championship, in your opinion, because of the season he's had?
Absolutely. I mean, 10 wins. He has set about every record that you could possibly have in this series, and every time he takes to the racetrack, he seemingly sets another, and he could become the all-time lap leader in a single season here tonight if he were to get to the front and lead a bunch of laps like he did back here in March. So, yeah, I think the pressure is on for Corey Heim after the season that team has had. Top 3s in about every race we have run. He's wanting to continue that streak here tonight, but I'm sure his eyes are set in 7 nights from now at the Phoenix Raceway for the championship race.
He's got 19 stage wins this year. That's the record by 8. Not even close. 10 wins. That's a Truck Series record. 17 top threes. That's a Truck Series record. And yeah, if he leads 83 more laps, he can set that record as well. A phenomenal year for Corey Heim.
Led well over 83 laps here back a couple of months ago at the start of the season. Let's go trackside now and get tonight's Slim Jim 200 underway here at the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia.
Race fans, this is the moment you all have been waiting for. Please welcome members of the Martinsville Speedway 500 Committee. They are here tonight to say the most famous words in motorsports. Take it away.
Drivers, start your engines!
35 NASCAR Craftsman trucks come to life on the pit lane as we get set for the Slim Jim 200.
Boring snacks, we have a yellow flag. Please pull into Flavor Pit Lane. Leave bland snacks in the dust and snap into a Slim Jim. With its iconic snap and bold, smoky flavor, Slim Jim is the perfect snack to fuel your race day. When it's go time, you don't coast, and neither does Slim Jim. Snap into a Slim Jim and enjoy the taste of victory.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered, NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Chris Wilner. Join me each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We'll also talk with rising stars from your favorite short track. Once again, it's NASCAR Coast to Coast, and you can watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or on your favorite podcast platform.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Whelen Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Whelen Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Now, here's the starting lineup.
Starting 35th is Clayton Green. He had a practice crash earlier today, but he got the truck repaired enough for tonight's race. Norm Benning will start 34th. Alan Waller starts 33rd. Frankie Muniz goes 32nd. And Justin Carroll starts 31st.
30th starter is Logan Bearden. Patrick Staropoli will start 29th. 28th is Spencer Boyd. Casey Mears in his 600th National Series start. And first here in the Truck Series will start 27th. Timmy Hill will go from 26th. 25th starter is Connor Jones. Tony Breidinger qualified in the 24th position. Matt Mills in 23rd. 22nd will be Jake Garcia, and Brent Cruz will start 21st.
Rolling off 20th is Bailey Curry. Jack Wood starts 19th. Chandler Smith goes 18th, and Connor Mozak 17th. Starting 16th is Corey LaJoy. Matt Crafton starts 15th. Dawson Sutton 14th, and Brendan Butterbean Queen will start in the 13th spot. Tanner Gray qualified 12th, and Ben Rhodes starts 11th.
Now into the top 10 as the trucks begin to roll from the pit lane to begin their parade and pace lap. Starting 10th, Andres Perez de Laura. Daniel Hemrick will start in 9th. Grant Enfinger will roll from the 8th position. 7th is Rajah Caruth. Tyler Ankrum will start from 6th. 5th starter is Caden Honeycutt. Corey Heim, the winningest driver this season, will start in 4th. Ty Majeski, the defending champion, in 3rd. And on the front row, last week's Talladega winner, Gio Ruggiero. And on the pole, Lane Riggs at a time of 19.478 seconds, equating to 97.217 miles per hour in qualifying earlier this evening.
Trucks now begin to roll off the grid and on to the Martinsville Speedway, so let's do the same as we bring in Dave Moody from Barre, Vermont.
Thank you, Alex Hayden. Good evening once again, everybody, from high above turns 3 and 4 here at Martinsville Speedway. They call this place the Paperclip, and for very good reason. It's a very short racetrack, only half a mile. Most of that half mile is made up of straightaways, long straightaways, relatively speaking, with very tight corners at each end. 12 degrees of banking, enough to help an ill-handling race truck, but certainly not enough to cure it. Bottom 2 lanes through the turns are concrete. The top 2 lanes are asphalt. You will not see many trucks up there in the asphalt, at least on purpose here tonight. And to drivers left at both ends, a bit of a curb, 3 to 4 inches tall, painted bright yellow and black. If you hit it, it can send you careening up the racetrack into someone that happens to be unlucky enough to be running alongside. We'll watch it all unfold tonight from high above turns 3 and 4.
All right, thank you very much, Dave Moody. Up there in turn number 3, great view of all the action here this evening. Before we go green, let's take one final sweep down the pit lane, and we'll begin with Steve Post at the head end of pit road.
Kyle, you gentlemen mentioned that Thor Sport Racing winless. First time they've gone this deep since 2007. One of the drivers their hopes ride on is Ben Rhodes. Ben's a 2-time champion. This has been an awful good racetrack for him. 3 times he's finished second here, and he has led 236 laps. That's more laps than he's led at any racetrack. If Thor Sport gets a win, it could be Ben Rhodes delivering it for him here this evening. He starts in the 11th spot. Chris Wilner?
Well, away from the playoff storylines, how about this day for Casey Mears, the longtime Cup Series veteran and nephew of 4-time Indy 500 winner Rick Mears, making his career start number 600 in NASCAR. That includes all top 3 series, but today it's his first Truck Series start for MBM and Carl Long. It started with a 5-race Cup Series deal earlier this year to chase that 600 milestone, and at 47 years of age, he still feels like there's plenty left in the tank. He will make his 493rd Cup start on Sunday, and the plan is to go for 500 as they work on a deal for next season, and he's doing it all for his family so his kids can watch Dad race in NASCAR. Wendy Venturini.
23-year-old Lane Riggs won his 3rd pole today here at Martinsville, starting from that top spot. In 3 Martinsville starts, his best is 6 for Lane Riggs, but more importantly is the points going into tonight's race. He is -6 on the points grid. I spoke to Dylan Capello, his crew chief, just moments ago before the engines fired. He said track position is key. We have a fast truck. We've proven that in qualifying. The key is to stay up front. They are racing to lap 100. And then, of course, he said it's going to be a different race the other 100 laps. There's going to be one pit stop going for points in those stage breaks. And for him, it's all about taking home that grandfather clock here in Martinsville.
Wants the track position and has the track position. We'll start on the pole here tonight for Lane Riggs.
As the field makes their way down the pit lane to check their tachometers right now to make sure they are at pit road speed. This is a tricky place on pit road. You enter going into turn number 3. Work your way all the way around turns 3 and 4, down the front stretch. Pit road goes through turns 1 and 2 and exits at the exit of turn 2 on the back straightaway. When drivers are diving on and off pit road, that can be very tricky back there. Kind of like riding with you, Kyle, when you're merging onto the freeway.
Hey, you know what? So far, we've stayed clean. We had a couple of close calls, but so far, so good. Casey Mears, we heard about him a moment ago, making start number 600. First here in the Truck Series, which is hard to believe. His first start came way back at the Homestead Miami Speedway in 2001, and then what was the NASCAR Busch Series. Now the NASCAR Xfinity Series, has picked up a win in that series, picked up a win, of course, in the NASCAR Cup Series at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and looking for a potential win here tonight in his first start. We'll have a long way to go to get there.
Yeah, he will, but, you know, he's trying to do that, and I really got to tip my cap to Casey Mears, because he wants to do it for his kids, his young kids. Obviously, they weren't around when he was in his prime, as they say, when he drove for Hendrick Motorsports back in the day in the NASCAR Cup Series. So I love the story to get the opportunity. Hey, look at Dad. Dad's out here competing in NASCAR in the top level. So I think it's a really cool thing that he's doing out there. As the blue and white Chevrolet Silverado pace truck makes its way up off of turn number 4, and Rich Keeter on top of the flag stand gives us the 1 to go signal, and we'll go under the green flag in one more lap.
It'll be interesting to see how the strategy will shake out, who will come to pit road early, who will stay out, of course, depending on how yellow flags fall. The first stage, 50 laps. The second stage, another 50, will take us to lap 100. And then we'll run to the finish at lap number 200. A lot of drivers in need of those stage points that are at play at the end of the first 50 and then the second 50 laps, including below the cut line. Ty Majeski, Lane Riggs, Daniel Hemrick, Grant Enfinger, all looking for points, as is Caden Honeycutt, who's just a couple of points above the cut line.
Pace truck will make its way to the entrance to pit road in turn number 3 and to call the start of the Slim Jim 200 for the NASCAR Racing Network from Killingly, Connecticut. Here's Kyle Rickey.
Final race in the round of 8 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series here at the Martinsville Speedway on this Friday night. 35 trucks comes off turn number 4. Green flag is up. We're underway. Lane Riggs, Gio Ruggiero, 1 and 2 to turn 1 for the first time.
And a good jump for Lane Riggs will allow him to get away clean at the exit of turn number 2. Ruggiero able to tuck it back in line, single file in the second spot. Riding in the third spot is Ty Majeski.
He'll quickly snap that truck to the bottom of the racetrack and block the advances of Corey Heim. Front 4 go nose to tailgate. It's Caden Honeycutt, Tyler Ankrum stacking up from 5th on back.
Honeycutt goes to the inside. He'll take that spot away as they race down the back straightaway. So the top 5, now the top 6, all single file. Rajah Caruth diving now to the inside of Tyler Ankrum.
Ankrum outside, Caruth to the bottom. Everybody trying to get to the inside of the racetrack. And Ankrum will just a truck length behind Rajah Caruth for 6th.
A lot of patience necessary when you get trapped up in the high groove here in Martinsville. You just have to take your beating and be confident that later in the day you'll get the opportunity to regain those spots. To the outside, Grant Enfinger now going backward.
He is, because Daniel Hemrick will slide to his inside. Ben Rhodes and that fuchsia-colored Ford now goes to the inside of Enfinger.
Here comes Rhodes down to the inside. Enfinger just looking for daylight. He finds a sliver of it, just enough to slide down across the nose of Ben Rhodes.
And a jamming in line on the inside of the racetrack off of turn number 4, just in front of Ben Rhodes. They are currently running in the 10th and 11th position as they go back to the corner. Everybody has singled out among the top 10.
Yeah, about the top 15 now, singling out all the way back through the pack. Lane Riggs likes it just fine. He's pulled away by 4 truck lengths.
Running his lane at the moment. Clean racetrack in front of him as we complete lap number 5. Gio Ruggiero rides second. Ty Majeski right there in third.
Third spot belongs to Majeski. Corey Heim right on his tailgate in the number 4 position. That's a good 3-man race for second, third, and fourth.
Gio Ruggiero leading that battle for position over Ty Majeski and Corey Heim. A couple of truck lengths in between each of them, and a large gap.
Turn 4, around goes Andres Perez de Lara. He was on the outside of a 3-wide battle. Matt Crafton was in the middle. Crafton got a little nudge on exit of turn 4. Drifted up into Andres Perez, and around he goes in turn 4.
Caution on the speedway for the first time. Andres Perez de Lara and that Telcel Chevrolet trying to grab a gear and refire. He's got some significant damage to the left side of that truck after simply getting muscled to the outside lane in a 3-wide battle. And we are under caution, Kyle, for the first time.
First time this afternoon under the yellow flag in a 3-wide battle with Matt Crafton, and there was one other truck to his inside, Connor Mosack, as they came together. Andres Perez de Lara in the outside lane. Contact with Crafton sent that truck spinning into the outside wall. He has continued on, but with some damage as we go under the yellow flag for the first time tonight, just 7 laps in here at Martinsville.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
You stop here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
Four tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race out from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes on second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
Under caution for the first time here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway. Still early on, just 9 laps of the 200 complete for Andres Perez de Lara. Going around off of turn number 4 and tagging the outside wall. He has since fallen off of the lead lap. Clayton Green was in the first incident of the day in practice. They got the truck to the grid, made the first parade and pace lap, and immediately pulled the truck to the infield, and he'll be credited with the 35th position here tonight. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
Hello?
Hey, it's your man tank again. I just talked to the taste buds. We're all worried about you, Tim.
What do you mean? I love eating veggies. The crunch, I've never felt better.
You sure?
I think so.
You're really sure?
Yeah, man. Seriously.
You're not doing this to me, Tim. You're doing this to us. Just rip open some jerky, all right? Jack Link's Beef Jerky, official meat snack of NASCAR. Feed your wild side.
Partner of NASCAR.
Cleanup has been completed here at the Martinsville Speedway off of turn number 4, and the field getting to 1 to go signal. Drivers choosing their lane for the restart in less than a lap from now.
We are taking hot laps and hotter snaps. Slim Jim, America's favorite meat stick, has the most iconic snap and is the perfect snack to fuel your race day. Snap into a Slim Jim wherever snacks are sold.
Field going inside and out just past the start-finish line here. Lane Riggs, Gio Ruggiero, the front row, Ty Majeski and Corey Heim inside and out in row number 2. And Caden Honeycutt, one of the championship title contenders here, looking to make his way into the championship 4. Has driven for 3 teams this season. We'll wrap up this 2025 campaign with Halmer Friesen Racing. We'll restart in the 5th position as we are about to go back under the green flag.
So on the bottom side of the racetrack, this was going to be interesting now as lap 12 will go on the board. How will the tires with some green flag laps on a cold evening work on the outside lanes? The field works their way up off turn number 4. To the restart zone they go. Lane Riggs, the control truck on the inside of the racetrack, punches the throttle. Green flag goes back in the air. He'll drive away from Gio Ruggiero by the time they hit turns 1 and 2.
Once again, he is away by a full truck length and will be able to drift up to the outside wall on exit of turn number 2. Battle is on for second. Down to the inside, Ty Majeski on Gio Ruggiero.
There comes Majeski to the bottom. Ruggiero to the outside lane. That allows Lane Riggs to break away by 5 truck lengths at the front of the field.
Riggs scampers away quickly as they continue to go side by side behind him. Majeski on the inside. Ruggiero on the outside. Corey Heim bobbing and weaving, looking for daylight in 4th space.
Gio Ruggiero hanging tough on the outside lane. Continues to have a half-truck advantage on Ty Majeski. He's going to try to slam the door in turn 1. Ruggiero leaves the bottom side wide open.
The youngster out of Seekonk, Massachusetts, letting it ride on the outside, and he'll get the job done. Halfway down the back straightaway, Ruggiero will clear, jump down into the low groove in 2nd.
Been strong the last couple of weeks. Strong here early on tonight. Gio Ruggiero in the outside lane to 2nd, just in front of Ty Majeski and Corey Heim as they battle for 3rd.
Majeski's now got his hands full of Corey Heim. Right behind them, Caden Honeycutt, as they all try and chase down the leader, Lane Riggs, who's gone by 7 truck lengths.
And driving away in that red and black Ford as he works his way past the line, lap number 16. goes on the board. Further back, Grant Enfinger, one of our playoff competitors, he's being scored 8th, and he's got a host of trucks stacked up on his tailgate.
Plenty of company at the back door for Grant Enfinger. For the moment, they'll all stay single file down the backstretch. Behind him, Ben Rhodes, Daniel Hemrick, and Tanner Gray.
Out to complete lap number 17. What was 1.3 seconds between the top two last time. 1.4 this time. Lane Riggs over Gio Ruggiero. Ty Majeski in third. Corey Heim fourth. Caden Honeycutt in fifth. And one truck a little off the pace, off of turn number 2 and up the back straightaway, gets back in the line, but surprisingly, Dave Moody, everybody wasted little time getting back to the bottom of the racetrack, and they did so cleanly.
Yeah, Matt Mills has got some problems on that truck. He has dropped back to the tail end of the field, but I thought he was going to catch the fence and maybe a couple of other trucks like last time in turn 2.
He just about did it again going into turn number 1. When he gets on the brake pedal, the nose of the truck begins to wiggle left and right and goes up the racetrack. So an ill-handling machine for Matt Mills. Much the same this lap with Corey Heim. He loses a lot of track position.
Heim is going to lose a spot as well. Caden Honeycutt dials up the low lane. He'll slide to the inside of Corey Heim.
That battle will settle down off of turn number 4, just into the top 5. Want to keep an eye on the battle further back, second half of the field. Matt Crafton, Connor Jones may have made contact a couple laps ago with a block up the backstretch, and they're still nose to tailgate.
Connor Jones put a pretty good lick on the back bumper of Matt Crafton coming off turn number 2. He'll learn that that's probably not the best idea. Crafty will take a little bit of that, but not much.
Caution is on the speedway. No apparent problems. I got to wonder, Dave, if there's not some fluid down on the track. We've seen a host of trucks slide up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. Couple of them up off of turn 4 as well as we work the caution flag.
That's my guess as well, Alex. There have just been too many trucks experiencing sudden onsets of ill handling down there in turn 1 and 2. I think somebody's greased up the racetrack.
May have been Andres Perez de Laura, who was involved in the first incident, tagging the outside wall. He came to the pit lane just prior to the caution flag. The second one of the night here, just 21 laps in to the Slim Jim 200. Lane Riggs continues to show the way over Gio Ruggiero, Ty Majeski, Corey Heim, and Caden Honeycutt as the pace truck captures the field here on the front stretch.
So as they work their way around, the track safety team is out there inspecting for fluid right now. Yeah, to Dave's point, saw Matt Mills, we saw Corey Heim, we saw Bailey Curry, drivers down in turns 1 and 2 just by themselves going way up the racetrack, basically unusual what we've been seeing here, and some of the drivers began to radio in and say, hey, there's fluid on the track. NASCAR, no choice but to put the caution flag out.
A lot of slip sliding around here to put us under this caution for the second time here this evening, as the great crowd here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway, second consecutive night of great racing here. We had the Mazdas here last night along with the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Tonight the trucks, tomorrow the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and we wrap things up on Sunday with the NASCAR Cup Series as we go to pit road and Steve Post.
Well, looking at this race and the way it unfolds, Kyle, you guys mentioned it's a short race. It's 200 laps around this racetrack. The stage breaks at 50 and 100. A lot of times drivers will pit on lap 50. They can make it 150 laps to the end. This is a little different here tonight. Remember, we've got all of these drivers at the front of the field racing for stage points. I believe we're going to see pit stops at lap 100 for the front runners. Now, I think those in the back of the pack might pit at lap 50, and once we get to the end of stage number 2, put themselves at the front of the field. But with stage points being so critical for so many, I think that pit stop, and we will just have one scheduled pit stop. I believe that pit stop will be at the end of stage number 2, lap number 100, when all the stage points have already been given out.
So as the field works around the racetrack, pit lane is open, and there are a couple of drivers, Corey LaJoie, Jake Garcia, Frankie Muniz, Norm Benning, able to come to pit road here for some routine service. Good to see Norm Benning back at the racetrack this week after a scary incident at Talladega a week ago.
A big explosion in turn number 2 midway through the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at the Talladega Superspeedway last Friday, and it was a scary moment watching Norm climb from that truck and fall to the ground. Fortunately, he was okay. The truck and the engine, however, were not, and the truck will need some work by the time they get back super speedway racing to start the 2026 campaign. But Norm back with us here toward the rear of the field on pit road, making some adjustments, and Other than some very minor injuries with some smoke inhalation, he's okay and back with us here this evening.
And it's great to see old Normie with us here. Norm Benning, a longtime competitor in the world of NASCAR racing.
Here's a look at who's getting it done out on the track right now, presented by Craftsman. Mid-project regret syndrome? Not on our watch. Power up your DIY game, literally, with the Craftsman V20 lineup. One battery system, 100-plus products, and a million reasons to build on. Learn more at craftsman.com.
Gotta say, Lane Riggs, and why not? One pole position, started the race, and has led all 25 laps to this point. Not just that, but after that restart that they had after the first caution flag from the Andres Perez de Lara crash, he was a jackrabbit and got away from the field again, began to extend his lead. So Lane Riggs is absolutely getting it done here early on in today's race. I got to give a nod also to Casey Mears. Mears has gained 7 positions in tonight's opening 26 laps of racing, including now working the second caution flag of the race. So when we've been under the green flag, Casey Mears has been getting it done as he's worked his way from the back of the field up to 26th.
Hard to ignore both of those drivers. I like Gio Ruggiero there in the second spot, coming off a win last week at the Talladega Superspeedway, and raced into the second position from the outside lane on the last restart. So Gio looking good, at least early on here tonight in Martinsville, as we go trackside to Wendy Venturini in the Lane Riggs pit.
Well, Lane Riggs, as you just mentioned, had been leading all the laps here at Martinsville so far. He came over to the radio under this last caution and said it's very neutral. It's starting to gain grip out there, but in the words of Lane Riggs, he is just cruising.
That could spell disaster for the rest of the field, as this one still has a long way to go, 173 laps. But if you're just cruising and driving away at the rate he's been doing here tonight, they got themselves a pretty good handling race truck as we get set for another restart.
Had a 1.6-second lead at one point, and we have not had a whole lot of green flag laps thus far. 2 caution flags in the first 27 laps of tonight's race, just past the halfway mark in stage number 1. That'll take us to lap 50, but Lane able to get away fairly quickly in the first 2 starts of this event. We'll see what he can do here at the completion of caution flag number 2. It'll be Riggs out front. Gio Ruggiero in the second spot. They're lined up and ready to go for the restart. That'll be Ty Majeski to his right elbow as they come off turn 4.
Gotta wait till they get to the restart zone on the front stretch, and they do so now. Green in the air. Oh, Riggs doesn't come up to speed. Lane Riggs is having a problem. Everybody bunches up behind him, and it's going to be Ty Majeski getting away with a race lead.
How they have not stacked up half or 3/4 of the field is beyond me, but Lane Riggs took a major tumble back through the field. Majeski away with the lead, followed by Corey Heim and Tyler Ankrum.
And you have to think there's a lot of damaged trucks on that inside lane. There was a lot of front to rear contact among everybody that restarted on the bottom, but everybody soldiers on. Leaders are off turn 2.
Here they come down the back straightaway. Ty Majeski will take the restart gift. He leads by a truck length over Heim. 3 more back to Tyler Ankrum in third.
Now, Lane Riggs is back up to speed after the incident on the restart. Riggs, however, falls in line back in the 6th position, and just a chance now, Dave, to catch his breath.
Well, I guess we'll find out just how much he's got in that machine. He's back in rhythm. He is looking now to the outside of Tanner Gray. Gray threw a big block to the inside. Riggs will go to the outside.
Rajah Caruth, Daniel Hemrick, some of the trucks that were to the inside. Ben Rhodes, who's trying to gain a spot now in the corner. All getting a little bit of damage there, but they all continue on as they race up the back straightaway. The best battle just into the top 5. Tanner Gray trying to fend off Lane Riggs, who is on the rebound a couple of laps after this restart. Riggs to the inside, Gray to the outside. That is the race for position 5 and 6.
Lane Riggs on the hunt, trying to get the number 5 position back, but Gray giving him a pretty good run in that outside lane. Lane Riggs just trying to lower his blood pressure after a very adventurous restart.
On the bottom of the track, he'll try to squeeze by the Tanner Gray truck and take over the number 5 spot. Wendy Venturini, what happened on the restart with Lane Riggs?
Well, he simply missed a shift on that restart. Unfortunately, lost a lot of track position, and you guys know how important track position is here. When you lose it, it is hard to gain it back.
But he is trying to gain it back. Picked up at least 1 spot here since losing those positions on the restart back into the top 5. Daniel Hemrick in a heated battle with Connor Jones, and Jones has found himself in a few battles in the early laps so far here tonight. Hemrick will hang on to that position. At the front of the field, it is Ty Majeski and Corey Heim. They were able to get away cleanly in the outside lane. They are first and second. Pretty good battle for third behind them, Tyler Ankrum and Grant Enfinger.
Ankrum's got about a half a truck length over Enfinger right now. They have lost touch with the lead pair, but a pretty good battle among themselves for third and fourth.
Stage 1 will end at lap number 50. There are 14 laps remaining now in this opening stage, and driver at the front of the field, and Ty Majeski came into the race, Dave, below the cut line on points, getting some big ones here tonight.
He's got some work to do, and he's well underway toward getting a handful at least, maybe 2 of first stage points as he runs in P1.
There he comes off of turn 4, putting a lap on Norm Benningen, is able to drive away by about 3 truck lengths from Corey Heim in the second spot. Hard to believe, still looking for his first win of the season after winning the championship last year. And also, Alex, hard to believe, ThorSport hasn't yet gone to victory lane in 2025.
It's been a head scratcher. They've had some good trucks throughout the season, different racetracks we've been to with Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton's had some flashes of brilliance here this year. Luke Finhouse has had a couple of good runs when he's been inside a ThorSport truck this year. But yeah, it's been a head scratcher for that organization, just trying to put a race together, green flag to checkered flag, and do it well enough, executing with drivers, with pit crew, and the entire weekend to try to get themselves back to victory lane.
Their last winless season, 2007. Let's pick up the battle for third, Tyler Ankrum and Grant Enfinger on the backstretch.
It is nose to tail down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Ankrum hanging on to the bottom, just wrapping the curve down on the inside of turn 4.
Off the corner they come, back down to the line. 10 to go now in stage number 1, and I believe the lead duo, Dave, may catch the tail end of the field before the end of the stage.
No doubt about it. Ty Majeski has made up enough ground that he's got some daylight. We heard Kyle Rickey say a few moments ago something we haven't heard much this year, and that's pulling away from Corey Heim.
Caution on the speedway going into turn number 1. Brendan Butterbean Queen trying to get by the lap truck of Norm Benning. Got into the left rear of old Normie there and spun him. Norm was facing the infield in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He's been able to drive away. Does have some damage to his black and yellow truck. Brendan Butterbean Queen as well. Just a little punch to the right front corner of his truck where he made the contact.
Daniel Hemrick just behind that as well, and almost got into what would have been his second bit of contact here tonight after the restart stack up. Hemrick right now in the 14th position. Benning able to continue on, but we are under caution for the third time here tonight.
DIYers, ever start a project thinking that this'll be quick, only for it to be anything but? We've all been there, and that's why you need Craftsman, DIYer's most trusted brand. Craftsman's V20 battery works across drills, saws, trimmers, mowers, and over 100 other products from the house to the backyard and beyond. No dead stops, no refuels, just grab, swap, and get it done. Because your project might fight back, but your tools shouldn't. Head to Craftsman.com to learn more. Craftsman, build on.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. Feel the adrenaline with a library of unforgettable races from Daytona to Talladega. It's a front row seat to NASCAR history. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, pit road is open, and there are some takers among the front runners. Ben Rhodes is on the pit lane, Connor Jones, and Daniel Hemrick, Steve Post, making his way to the pit lane after some damage on that latest restart a few laps ago.
That restart where Scott Riggs, or Lane Riggs, got jacked up when he missed a shift. Daniel Hemrick was behind him, and he's got damage on the front and the rear. The rear bumper cover is about off from this truck. They're working to try to fix it, but he also has damage on the nose, and it's affect the cooling of the truck. So the crew is going under the hood. They're going to circulate the water down here. They're going to take a little tape off from the grill on the nose of this truck, and they're going to make sure that they get it cooled down and also make sure everything is secured in the back of the truck. Connor Mosak is in. Ben Rhodes is in getting service as well. How about in front of you, Chris? Any other pit stops there?
Just a tire change and four tire changes and the Sunoco Racing fuel for Matt Crafton, who was involved in a scuffle early on in the race. They're going to take this opportunity to come down and go a little bit off strategy as he tries to rally from the middle of the race pack. How about you, Wendy?
The only trucks on my end of the pit road are most of the ones that had damage early on. Spencer Boyd came down pit road as well, got 4 tires. And right now for Lane Riggs, who has not hit pit road, we do know he has a gear and transmission issue. He cannot go into 3rd or 4th gear. We saw in the restart he missed a shift, so he's going to be managing that throughout the race tonight.
And the night got a little bit longer for Daniel Hemrick, who is still on the pit lane fixing the damage. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hi, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
I do think that if you're always are scared to make the big moves, you're just always going to be following the person that did.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
Reddick slides up the racetrack. Briscoe gets away off turn 4.
And in-depth breakdowns of the latest NASCAR news and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins, a career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Back under the green flag here at Martinsville Speedway. 4 laps to go here in stage number 1. It's Ty Majeski who restarted to the inside. That took the top spot, but here comes Corey Heim to his inside, challenging for the race lead. Heim and Majeski back to turn 1.
Corey Heim roughed him up on entry into turn 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3 wraps in the back bumper to shove Majeski up the racetrack, but he hasn't gotten him beaten yet. Majeski's still right there.
He's hanging tough on that outside quarter panel, but off turn 4, Corey Heim slides across the nose with 2 to go in the opening stage. Corey Heim's at the front of the field.
Heim at the nose of the field right now, but he's got Majeski on his back bumper. We'll see if Ty wants a little payback here as they thunder down the backstretch into turn 3.
Daniel Hemrick, meanwhile, first truck off of the lead lap, running in the 30th position, just hoping to get the free pass when this next caution flag comes out. A lap from now, Corey Heim leads final stage, lap 1.
Heim pulls away by about a half a truck length as they exit turn 2 down the back straightaway. Majeski rides by himself in the 2nd spot. Grant Enfinger up to 3rd, then Tyler Anker.
Green and white checkered flag goes in the air. Stage number 1 is complete here at the Martinsville Speedway, and Corey Heim picks up the stage win. Ty Majeski, valuable points. He'll finish the stage 2nd. Grant Enfinger will come home 3rd. Tyler Ankrum 4th. Playoff drivers, all 3. Finishing the stage in 5th is Tanner Gray. Playoff driver Lane Riggs will be 6th. Playoff driver Caden Honeycutt 7th. Gio Ruggiero 8th. And playoff driver Rajah Caruth 9th. Brent Cruz comes home in stage number 1 in 10th as the caution is on the speedway now for the 4th time.
Just like a pit crew helps a driver reach victory lane, Ally helps you reach your financial goals. Ally has tools like savings buckets to keep your savings on track and savings boosters to put a little extra gas in your tank. Visit Ally.com to learn more about how you can grow your money fast. Savings buckets and boosters are features of the Ally Bank savings account. Ally Bank, member FDIC.
Inspiring story.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just a pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This is for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 50 years of MRN. The 1993 season. The Road to Royalty. And more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Caution on the speedway for the 4th time. Stage number 1 is in the books as all but one playoff contender scored stage points. The one that didn't is Daniel Hemrick after the damage on his truck. He's back in 30th, 1 lap down, should be the beneficiary of the free pass. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-375-3232. 800-375-3232. That's 800-375-3232. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
The Motor Racing Network and Ally Bank have partnered to honor women in motorsports. This week, we highlight NASCAR competitor and sports car ace Katherine Legge for her contributions in motorsports.
I grew up racing go-karts. I wanted to be a Formula One driver, but then I did open wheel. I found a love for sports car racing. I loved doing the Xfinity races that I did, and I wanted to do more stock car racing. I got the opportunity to do the Chili Bowl, so I did it. It was really cool experience. I figure the more things I do, the better I'll become. You know, everything teaches you something. But I think I probably do have one of the most diverse careers in racing, because like literally you name it, I've driven it. I've driven Formula E, I've driven prototypes, I've driven so many different forms of racing. I feel like this is the one that I really want to do that's eluded me, and I just love it. It's in my blood.
The Motor Racing Network honoring women in motorsports was brought to you by Ally Bank. No matter what you are saving for, whether it be race tickets, a car, or a new home, you need the bank that's your ally. Ally Bank, member FDIC.
Back here at the Martinsville Speedway, pit lane is open. Handful of trucks electing to come in. Steve Post, looks like Jake Garcia is one of them that took this opportunity.
Yeah, Jake Garcia's been in. They've got some damage on the right rear of that truck, so he was in under one of the earlier cautions. Garcia's down and away. Brendan Queen, Butterbean, was in as well. He had damage from that little dust-up that we described with Norm Benning, so he's getting an adjustment, and Daniel Hemrick coming back down pit road. They're going to continue to work on that automobile. Chris Wilner?
Brett Cruz, the Lone Ranger on my end of pit road that opted to come down pit road. Remember, he almost won his first truck race at the Roval. Said the truck was really good. Still on the right front too hard. They made an air pressure adjustment for Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. They're going to have to work on it a little bit more. They still feel like they left maybe a little bit on the table, but they think the racetrack's going to go to them. Also repaired a little left front fender damage on his Toyota. Wendy?
Nobody pitting on my end of pit road. All those guys decided to stay out. Now Tanner Gray has raced his way up from 12th all the way up to the top 5 position. So good showing for Tanner Gray, but they only have, of course, 2 sets of tires, so opting to stay out here at the stage break.
Justin Carroll, the first truck off the pit lane a lap ago, and is currently shown in the 19th position. Other trucks that made stops, Brent Cruz in 20th, Jack Wood 21st, Daniel Hemrick on the pit lane after getting the free pass. He'll restart out of the top 20, and we'll keep an eye on that truck, the deepest of the playoff contenders in the field, after getting that damage on the restart following the second caution flag of the event. And he's been on and off the pit road a couple of times now over the course of the first 57 laps of this race.
So as we work stage number 2, even though we're under caution for the end of the first stage, laps continue to count. This stage run going to be much shorter, down to 43 laps to go now here in stage number 2. So after a round of pit stops, before we get the one to go, let's let you know where your favorite driver's being scored.
Corey Heim shown as the race leader over Ty Majeski in second, Grant Enfinger in third, Tyler Ankrum fourth, and Tanner Gray fifth. Lane Riggs in the 6th position, Caden Honeycutt is 7th, Gio Ruggiero 8th, Rajah Caruth 9th, and Bailey Curry in the top 10.
Corey LaJoie is 11th, Tony Breidinger goes 12th, Connor Jones is 13th. Chandler Smith at the moment is 14th, with Matt Crafton 15th. Connor Mozak is 16th, Ben Rhodes 17th, Spencer Boyd is 18th, Justin Carroll 19th, and Brent Cruz is 20th.
Jack Wood will restart in the 21st position, Dawson Sutton 22nd, Patrick Staropoli 23rd, Brendan Queen 24th, and Frankie Muniz 25th. Alan Waller in 26th, Jake Garcia 27th, Timmy Hill 28th, Casey Mears in 29th, and Daniel Hemrick in 30th.
Daniel Hemrick, the last truck on the lead lap. 31st is Norm Benning. 32nd is Logan Bearden. Matt Mills is 33rd. Andres Perez de Lara soldiering on 34th after an early crash. One truck out of the race. That is Clayton Green. He'll finish tonight's race in 35th.
Field still under the caution flag. It'll be a couple of more laps, so you're right, Alex. This is going to be a short second stage as Daniel Hemrick comes back to the pit lane. We'll have under 40 laps to get to the halfway mark and the end of stage 2 here tonight. And Daniel Hemrick, the only driver among playoff contenders that we have seen have issues thus far this evening, but he'll have I guess better to have an issue early in the race, have some time to get to the front of the field. Everybody else so far clean and green and running among the top 9 right now when it comes to the rest of our playoff contenders.
And Steve Post, I guess, having an issue is one thing, but when you have a problem with some overheating on your truck, that could be something else.
Oh yeah, you can tape fenders back on and bumpers back on, but when the engine is overheating, you have really got to put some attention to it. They've circulated the water multiple times on the Daniel Hemrick truck. They continue to work on the right front of it, and they've also moved a lot of the tape off from the openings on the right front, but the water temperature is still staying rather high in the Daniel Hemrick truck, and that's engine failure if it stays too high too long, and that's terminal.
Was on the pit lane for the 3rd time here tonight. Nearly went a lap down as the field was doubling up in their rows of 2. Hemrick has since continued on and will rejoin at the tail end of the field after receiving the free pass just a moment ago. Will restart in the 30th position for Hemrick. Quite the hole to climb out of. He is just now getting to the start-finish line. The rest of the leaders in turn 3, ready for the restart, will have 39 laps to settle it here in the second stage.
With Corey Heim to driver's left, he is the control truck. He can get on the gas anytime inside the restart zone. He'll have Ty Majeski to his right. Row number 2, Grant Enfinger and Tyler Ankrum. Green flag goes back in the air. Racing again at Martinsville. Majeski doesn't come up to speed quite as quickly. Heim will get away with the lead. Here's Grant Enfinger sticking a nose to the inside of Majeski.
Raja Caruth, 4th back on the inside lane, tried a 3-wide move into turn 1, thought better of it. Heim away with the lead. Majeski 2nd, but maybe not for long.
Here comes Grant Enfinger to his inside, but Majeski has that high side momentum in the drive off of turn number 4, able to hang on to the runner-up spot.
Slams it back down into the low line across the nose of Grant Enfinger. Enfinger will ride in the 3rd spot. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3, Majeski 4th. Tanner Gray to the inside on Riggs.
Riggs just stuck on the outside lane again, but he holds his ground. Tanner Gray occupies the bottom side of the racetrack. Riggs sails it into turn 1 deep.
Lane Riggs had an opportunity to get back in line behind Gray, but he chose to keep his lane moving in the outside lane. It might have been a good call. He may get to drive around Gray here.
Trying to take that spot away in the outside lane. Does so far by a half a truck length as they get to the start-finish line. Lane Riggs, Tanner Gray, side by side for position 5.
Lane Riggs, after the early restart problem, trying to rim ride his way around the outside of Tanner Gray, and he will get it done. Into turn number 3, back to the low line. He is up to the number 5 spot.
That is some determined driving by Lane Riggs. Took him a handful of laps after the restart, but he was able to accomplish the task. Now Riggs goes to work on the back bumper of Tyler Ankrum.
Ankrum has lost touch with the top 3. There's about 7 truck lengths between himself and Grant Enfinger, who runs 3rd. Right on his heels now is Riggs.
Top 3 have separated themselves from the rest of the field. Corey Heim by about 4 truck lengths over Ty Majeski. 4 more back to Grant Enfinger, and then the stack up from 4th on back.
4th on back is where the action is. Grant Enfinger is kind of the fly in the ointment right now. He's got them stacked up behind him. Riggs is there, Gray is there, Raja Caruth and Caden Honeycutt.
We're 67 laps into the Slim Jim 200. The current top 8 drivers are yet to make a pit stop. Ty Majeski, he's riding right there in the number 2 spot. Let's get an update on Majeski with Chris Wilner.
And Alex, he was so frustrated at the end of stage number 1, said I was just way too tight to contend with Corey Heim and gave away a potential stage win and the bonus points that come with it. But for Ty Majeski, of course, he talked to us in pre-race about the fact that maybe coming into it, it wasn't a must-win, but they felt like that we've seen this song and dance before. They want to contend for the win, and now they know it's going to probably have to go through Corey Heim. They're also suffering some radio issues with the crew, having trouble hearing Ty Majeski, that is, on that last run. They feel like it's starting to come to him. But the thing about this racetrack that he noted was the fact that it is so cold out here that they feel like the rubber's not going to be a factor, so track position's going to be huge, but also maintaining that these tires could go a lot longer. So I think that's why you saw a lot of the playoff leaders at the front opt to not pit, including Ty Majeski, but we'll see what happens when we get to the end of stage number 2.
He's running in the second spot right now, 0.6 of a second behind race leader Corey Heim with 30 laps to go here in stage 2. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. NASCAR Racing Network with you on this Friday night for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series penultimate race of the season, the Slim Jim 200 from the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Kyle Rickey and Alex Hayden with you high above the start-finish line. Dave Moody's out in the corners. Steve Post, Chris Wilner, and Wendy Venturini down on the pit lane. Corey Heim continuing to lead this race and pull away just a bit at the front of the field over Ty Majeski, Grant Enfinger,
Trouble,
Tyler
turn
Ankrum.
1. Rajah Caruth goes for a spin. He was running side by side with Caden Honeycutt. They made contact midway on the front straightaway. Caruth dropped off the pace. He knew there was trouble, got into turn number 1, and he's only running on 3 wheels right now as that truck took a quick turn at the top of turn 1.
This might be the smallest racetrack we race on in NASCAR, but they are hauling the mail down there when they stand on the brakes going into the corner, and you realize that, Kyle, just how fast they're going. When you wreck here at Martinsville, you wreck big.
Got into the outside wall a ton and is having a tough time driving away for Rajah Caruth. Made the attempt a moment ago, but that truck has since stalled out. Top of the racetrack in turn 1, was battling for a position just into the top 10 when it looked like a tire may have gone down after contact on the front straightaway. Sent the truck into a spin and ultimately into the outside safer wall. And we go under the caution flag for the 5th time here tonight, and another playoff driver finding big trouble.
If he didn't have the problem there, we were soon to have a caution flag regardless, because back around the 14th and 15th spot, Brent Cruz and Matt Crafton, lap after lap, were just wailing on each other, to the point now Brent Cruz's back bumper is completely curled up right in the middle of it. Cruz was the first to make contact. He gave Matt Crafton the business. Crafton, the veteran, didn't like it. Lap after lap, for 3 straight laps, they traded paint.
Snap into race day with a Slim Jim. With its iconic snap and bold, smoky flavor, Slim Jim is America's favorite meat stick and the perfect pit stop snack. Leave boredom in the dust. Slim Jim is the on-to-go meat stick that takes you from the green to checkered flag without missing a bite. Snap into a Slim Jim wherever snacks are sold.
Welcome to more.
Green flag is in the air.
More action.
Photo finish.
More awesome. More smoke. More sizzle. More soar. More roar. More friends. More family. Welcome to the one place where no matter who you are, you'll leave with something you'll never forget. Welcome to NASCAR.
Back here at the Martinsville Speedway, continuing work the caution for the Rajah Caruth crash in turn number 1. They are still having a dickens of a time getting that truck hooked up to the tow truck to get him pulled back behind the wall back there. So Rajah looks like he's staying aboard the race truck right now. He had contact with his left rear off the right front of the Caden Honeycutt truck, and Steve Post, that cut down the left rear tire, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And Rajah still sits in the truck here. We finally have got it picked up, as you described. The Steps Towing is now, truck has got the truck picked up, and Rajah is still aboard the truck. They're waiting for traffic to clear now, and they'll do a U-turn and head over to turn number 2 and then back to the garage area. Listening to the conversation of Caden Honeycutt, he said, did I not give him enough time or enough room? Did I run him up the racetrack? And crew chief Jimmy Villanueva said, it looks to me like just a racing deal where you two got tight off from the turn and there was contact, but he did not feel that Caden did anything wrong, and Rajah ended up with that left rear tire down. Now finally they're getting the truck turned back around on the back of the hook and headed back to the garage where they'll work on it.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info, it's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag, green
Bring
flag.
your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
NASCAR Live isn't just Tuesday nights. On Thursday, we go wide open with some of the sport's biggest legends.
Dover's so good that even concrete couldn't ruin it.
And some of NASCAR's rising stars.
I don't like getting drove in the back of, and I honestly don't like doing it, but you're not buddy-buddy with everybody, and I've had to learn that.
NASCAR Live Wide Open has you covered from the rookie class all the way to the Hall of Fame. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
We welcome you back to Martinsville Speedway on a Friday evening under the lights on a rather chilly evening here in South Central Virginia. Took the green flag. Temperature was 61. It is down now into the low 50s, forecasted to dip down into the 40s here before the checkered flag flies here in Martinsville, Virginia.
About an hour ago, we talked to Rajah Caruth pre-race. We talked about the confidence that he had coming into the event, coming into tonight. 14 points to the good, in pretty good position. Well, it doesn't take long here at the Martinsville Speedway for those points to go away, and now Rajah is well below the cut line coming to the end of Stage 2 and a few laps from now. 22 points out of the top four, and unfortunately for Rajah, out of the truck right now. He has fallen multiple laps down in the 32nd position and out of this one here tonight.
It is a tough pill to swallow. Chris Showalter was the first one to kind of console Rajah when he backed the truck back to the garage area on the wrecker and got out of it. Chris Showalter has been at every NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race since its inception. It's unbelievable. Longtime crew member down there, one of the nicest guys in the garage. Let's go down to Steve Post.
Yeah, and in fact, you called it there with Chris. He's just one of the really good guys down here. Really, the damage is the left rear, as we described with the flat tire, but the left front is all pushed in on the left front wheel. Right front is also pushed in as well, and he's got damage all along the right side of the truck as well. So this thing is really wounded. Rajah's gone to the care center. We'll hang out there and catch up with him when he comes out and get his perspective.
Lane Riggs, Caden Honeycutt, now tied for the fourth and final spot into the championship for next week. This is going to be fun. It's been turned upside down a couple of times already. We're not even halfway as we're set for the restart with 20 laps to go in Stage 2.
Green flag goes back in the air, and Corey Heim again gets a great restart, as does Grant Enfinger on his tailgate. Ty Majeski left on the outside lane.
The Jackrabbit start for Corey Heim opens the door down low. Here comes Grant Enfinger to the inside of Ty Majeski. Riggs will change lanes and jump to the bottom in fourth.
We'll go to the inside in the fourth position behind the side-by-side battle for second. Grant Enfinger to the inside. Ty Majeski to the outside with Riggs getting antsy there in fourth.
Right, a little bit of contact. Riggs moves Enfinger up the racetrack. He will slide through and take the number 3 position. Enfinger back to fourth, maybe not for long. He goes to the inside, and he's back after Riggs.
Grant Enfinger returns the favor and gives him the business going into turn 3. This now is not settled down. Riggs has third. Enfinger still right there knocking on the door.
A couple of championship contenders racing all out right now for third and fourth. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. They will call a ceasefire.
They have singled out for now. Lane Riggs in third, Grant Enfinger in fourth, and as they were battling hot and heavy for that third spot, it allowed Corey Heim and Ty Majeski to pull away.
Front two have sneaked away just a little bit. Heim has got about 5 truck lengths between himself and Majeski. Another 5, maybe 6, back to Riggs.
16 to go in stage number 2. Corey Heim opening up the biggest lead we've seen tonight, and that is only about 7 truck lengths as they work their way off turn number 2.
Heim all by himself, at least for the moment, will enjoy a bit of a break from the pressure that he's been out under for most of the evening. Majeski runs all by himself. Riggs trying to run him down in third.
15 laps to go here in stage number 2. The front 6 have singled out Heim, Majeski, Riggs, Enfinger, Tanner Gray. They stack up from Tyler Ankrum on back. You have Connor Jones and Caden Honeycutt in that battle.
Connor Jones has been working hard on the back bumper of Tyler Ankrum. They'll race down the back straightaway. Also in the mix is Caden Honeycutt. He's going to go to the outside of Jones. Brent Cruz ducks to his inside.
Brent Cruz has a good, strong run there as he gets a good bite off turn number 4. Pulls even with Caden Honeycutt, wheel to wheel in turn 2.
Caden Honeycutt driving for Stuart Friesen in the Halmar Friesen machine as Friesen continues his recovery. That's a good side-by-side battle with Brent Cruz.
Stuck in the outside lane right now is Caden Honeycutt, and is going to give up that 9th position to Brent Cruz. Cruz to the inside, Honeycutt behind them, then Ben Rhodes next in line.
Brent Cruz has got a pretty good hot rod tonight. It is wrapping the bottom of the corners very well indeed. He jumps to the inside, will make his way to the low line and pass Connor Jones.
It's a truck that is hooked up off the corner as well as anything. He gets a great bite, no wiggle on that truck whatsoever, and Cruz will drive away from a side-by-side battle behind him.
Caden Honeycutt now will fill the hole to the inside of the Connor Jones machine. They'll run side-by-side into turn 3.
Top 6 trucks have yet to make a stop in this race. Brent Cruz in the 7th position, the first truck among the leaders that has pitted, and that's perhaps why, Dave, he's making his way to the front.
I wouldn't touch a thing right now, Kyle. That truck is running very, very well. It rotates the center of the corner as well as just about anybody out there. He has pulled away from Caden Honeycutt by 5 truck lengths.
10 to go in stage number 2. Race leader Corey Heim working around Norm Benning.
Corey Heim to the outside will bypass Benning with no problem whatsoever. He's got a healthy lead, about 7, maybe 8 truck lengths into 3.
Overtime, Majeski in 2nd, Lane Riggs in 3rd, running unchallenged, as is Grant Enfinger 4th, Tanner Gray to round out the top 5. Then it's Tyler Ankrum, Brent Cruz, Caden Honeycutt, Connor Jones, Ben Rhodes. Rhodes, in fact, trying to fend off his Thor Sport teammate Matt Crafton for that final spot in the top 10.
Crafton digging hard down to the inside on the Ben Rhodes machine, trying to find himself some room. Can't do it this time as he'll move up on the slower machine of Norm Benning.
Benning keeps it down to the bottom of the racetrack, minding his own business out there. Caden Honeycutt will drive on by with 8 laps to go in the stage. Further back, Matt Crafton and his teammate Ben Rhodes were getting after it.
Crafton was looking to the inside. Rhodes shut him off. Crafton gave him a little shot in the shorts coming off the corner. Now Crafton has fallen back into the clutches of the Jack Wood machine.
Now he has his hands full right now. Matt Crafton hangs on to 11th. Jack Wood is there. Brendan Queen. Gio Ruggiero trying to make his way back to the front as well.
Top 12 to 15 trucks all now running single file down the back straightaway into 2. That's fine by Corey Heim. He's got a healthy lead.
It's Corey Heim, who's already in the championship 4 for next week in the season finale at Phoenix Raceway. Trying to do it in style here at the Martinsville Speedway. There's a grandfather clock to be awarded to tonight's winner, of course, in the Slim Jim 200. Heim across the line. 5 laps to go in the stage and more traffic on the horizon.
There is some lap traffic dead ahead that he may have to deal with. The Alan Waller machine will be next in line. Right in front of him, Frankie Muniz. Here comes Corey Heim closing in.
Keeping an eye on Daniel Hemrick. He's gained 8 spots since the restart. Still on the lead lap in the 20th position as Corey Heim, the race leader, goes back to turn 1 with 4 to go in stage 2.
Pulls up on the back bumper of the Alan Waller machine. He's got enough daylight. He may not have to pass the lap truck, but I don't think he's going to be that confident. He's going to work on him off turn 4.
Make their way off turn number 4. 3 to go now in stage number 2. Oh, Waller moves up the track. Corey Heim stuck the nose of his red and white Toyota there. Close quarters at the front of the field.
I don't think Alan Waller was entirely sure whether Heim wanted the bottom or the top. He moved up to give him the short way around, and Corey already had a fender in. No harm done. Now he'll go after the Frankie Muniz machine.
And now Ty Majeski going by Waller to his outside. Muniz to the inside, giving race leader Corey Heim room topside. 0.8 of a second between the top 2.
Plenty of room up top for Corey Heim. He will power his way around Frankie Muniz. Muniz now falls back into the clutches of the second-place driver. That's Ty Majeski.
We'll begin the final lap of stage number 2. Corey Heim up front by 10 truck lengths over Ty Majeski as they work lap traffic back to turns 1 and 2.
Corey Heim doesn't need the stage points, but he'll take any checkered flag of any color that he can get his hands on. Final time into turn number 3 to take the stage.
Off of turn number 4 comes Corey Heim with a lap truck to his inside, and once again in 2025 sees the green and white checkered flag. Picks up the second stage win of the night here for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series by 0.8 of a second over Ty Majeski in second, Lane Riggs in third, Grant Enfinger fourth, Tanner Gray to round out the top 5. Then it's Tyler Ankrum, Brent Cruz, Caden Honeycutt, Connor Jones, and Ben Rhodes completing the top 10.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in the Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Relive the thrills of over 50 years of NASCAR racing with the Motor Racing Network's Classic Race.
36th Annual Southern 500. They come down to the start-finish line. Bill Elliott and David Pearson get down.
We dig into the MRN Audio Vault for unforgettable races and moments.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500.
Available on MRN.com and podcast platform.
Fallon Kulwicki out of turn number 4, the new Winston Cup champion. He does it across the line.
MRN Classic Races.
Corey Heim just picked up his 21st stage win of the season, continuing to build on his record here in 2025. We look forward to pit road being open here in the next couple of laps. Heim out front over Ty Majeski, Lane Riggs, Grant Enfinger, and Tanner Gray as we get into the second half of tonight's Slim Jim 200. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Petty, and I want to tell you about a place that's near and dear to my heart, Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by getting involved today. Whether you know a child who could benefit, want to volunteer, or join our team, you can be a part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting victoryjunction.org.
Looking for weekly motorsports podcasts to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
.103 laps complete, now 104s. The field crosses the start-finish line here at the Martinsville Speedway. 200 laps the race distance here this evening. The current point leader and playoff board leader, Corey Heim, also the winner of the first 2 stages. Not many surprised by that here this evening with the way he's been running all year.
Not a bit. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Corey Heim up front in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race winning stages. Right now, as we sit on the racetrack, Ty Majeski is 12 points to the good. Stage racing is over tonight. 10 points to the good is Tyler Ankrum. 6 to the good is Lane Riggs. Remember, 1 position equals 1 championship point. Now, 6 points behind is Caden Honeycutt. Realistically, he's the only one that can point his way in. Rajah Caruth is out of the race. He will not be in the championship for Grant Enfinger, Daniel Hemrick. They both are basically in must-win. Well, not basically. They're in must-win situations right now. They're going to have to come up with something to try to drive to the front of the field and win tonight's race.
And Daniel Hemrick having overheating issues early in this event after an early race stack-up in stage number 1, damaged the front of his truck. On and off the pit road, able to keep that truck on the lead lap, and is currently in the 20th position. Pit road is open, and here come all the leaders down onto the pit lane, or at least most of the front runners heading toward pit road. We'll begin our coverage down there now with Wendy Venturini.
Our
pole sitter. Lane Riggs said he needs to be free in traffic. It's going to be 4 tires, a track bar adjustment for him as well. A little bit slow on the right-hand side. As for Tanner Gray, running in the 5th position, he stayed the same the entire run, but they did take a quarter-pound of air pressure out of the right front. Chris Wilner.
Ty Majeski is in after finishing 2nd there. All really tight race truck. He said they're going to make air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. Grant Enfinger said the exit got worse. They made air pressure adjustment and a track bar adjustment for Tyler Ankrum. Said it's still too tight. Steve Post.
Down here, Corey Heim reporting his car was just a little bit snug, so they're going to free that up a little bit. Caden Honeycutt talked about his truck just being a little bit tight early on in the running. Corey Heim wins the race off from pit road down here. These pit stops, lap number 106, end of stage number 1.
So Tyler Ankrum just pulling away from his pit box now. Extended stay down there. It's going to give up a ton of track position, but to make some kind of major adjustment on the left front of his truck, he's going to have to come up with something here just to maintain. He's got himself a pretty good spot points-wise, Kyle, to be in the championship for, but you just can't gamble with good enough, because as the old saying is, good enough is not good enough.
We have seen that already tonight with both Daniel Hemrick and especially Rajah Caruth, who thought he was good enough before the incident in turn number 1. Let's go back down and hear from Chris Wilner in the Tyler Ankrum pit.
Well, you mentioned Tyler Ankrum, Kyle, losing the 6 positions. Just checked in with the team. They had a pit gun malfunction on the left side, so they were hung up on the left side on the 4-tire change. Now they're trying to keep Tyler calm behind the wheel. Only lost 6 spots, but certainly when track position is key, having a mistake there on pit road and a faulty gun certainly will put him behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, that's a problem, but they just have to rebound now. Again, they've lost a ton of track position. You're going to be back there in what we call the old willy wags for this restart coming up to be able to tiptoe your way through that after being in the top 5 and top 10 all race long as we're just past the halfway point.
Corey Heim off the first off the pit lane, but not everybody made a stop. The first 9 trucks stayed out, kind of flipping the stage. They pitted a little bit ago. Brent Cruz currently shown as the race leader over Gio Ruggiero in 2nd, Jack Wood in 3rd, Chandler Smith 4th, Bailey Curry 5th, Corey LaJoie in the top 10 for the first time tonight in position number 6. Then it's Jake Garcia, Daniel Hemrick in 8th, Connor Mosack 9th, and then you get back to the trucks that just came off the pit lane, including Corey Heim in the 10th position.
So we await to 1 to go before we can go back under the green flag. They have not gotten it as of yet, as looks like Rich Keeter, the chief starter for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, has his big coat on here tonight. Dave, it's been a beautiful day here in Martinsville, Virginia, but as the sun gets behind the horizon, or down on the horizon, I should say, the temperature has gone down as well.
Yeah, the big coat's a good idea right about now. I've got one of my own. I got the gloves on. I'm not too proud. Grew up in Vermont, but I have outgrown my affinity for cold weather after about 15 years in the Carolinas. It's going to get a little nippy before this one's all over.
Started off at 61 degrees here at the Speedway. We are down to 51 as Rich Keeter, with that big jacket on at the start-finish line, gives the field the 1 to go signal as we go to the Care Center and hear from Rajah Caruth.
Rajah has climbed out of the Care Center. Rajah, what happened?
Yeah, I think for us, we were having a good night there, and it started with the restart stack up and getting some damage there, and then, he kind of washed up off the corner and got on the side of me, but I know it wasn't on purpose. It happens, obviously, tight racing here, and, I'm tight on the door to try to hold my spot with the damage, and it just, bummer that was me tonight, so hurts for sure.
Just your emotion. Talk a little bit about the hurt. You came in with such confidence, and here you stand waiting to see how this all plays out now.
Yeah, that's the tough part. It was pretty much out of my control with all of what down there, so that's a little tough to swallow, but I can rest knowing I did pretty much all I could do tonight.
That's Rajah Caruth.
Rajah Caruth is not officially eliminated from the championship for contention topic yet. He's only 17 points behind, so depending how the rest of this race plays out, there's still a glimmer of hope.
He's going to need a few of those trucks in front of him to have issues here in the second half of this event. 90 laps to go. Green flag is back out. Brent Cruz and Gio Ruggiero to turn 2 for the race lead.
Side by side, off turn 2 to the back straightaway. Ruggiero with a little bit of an advantage up high, trying to pinch Brent Cruz down toward the bottom of the racetrack. Ruggiero with the lead by half a truck length.
As he makes his way all the way around Brent Cruz now, he'll take over the race lead. lead. Going to the number 3 spot is Jack Wood as they begin to stack up from third on back.
Gio goes the hard way around the outside of Cruz to take over the lead. Cruz alone now in second. Boy, it is a conga line down the back straightaway, changing lanes 3 wide into turn number 3. Gray gets trapped to the outside, sliding through on the bottom. What a move by Grant Enfinger.
Grant Enfinger, part of that 3-wide scramble, has to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Picks up a couple of spots, though, in that 3-wide race for position. Still rides outside of the top 10. Top 2 get away. Gio Ruggiero at the point. Brent Cruz in second. Racing from third on back, Jack Wood leads that pack of traffic. In fact, he has a little bit of a gap back to Bailey Curry, having a nice night. Curry trying to fend off Chandler Smith for fourth.
The action is a little bit further back, though, as some of those faster trucks from earlier in the evening try to fight their way back to the front of the field. Diving to the outside, Ty Majeski. He's got Corey Heim in tow, along with Caden Honeycutt.
Caden Honeycutt right there, just trying to wait and see what Corey Heim's going to do to see if he will be the lead blocker as they have 2 trucks stacked up nose to tail in front of them.
Connor Mosak has got the bottom of the racetrack. Majeski is on the outside, and you're right, a bunch of trucks just kind of waiting to see how that's going to work out.
Including the former leader, Corey Heim, who goes to the inside or tries to on the truck in front of him. That is Ty Majeski as they go back to turn number 1, battling just into the top 10.
Here they come down the back straightaway, single file for the moment. Boy, it's been a frisky night for Matt Crafton. Crafton just gave a pretty good kick in the shorts to Connor Jones as they made their way into turn 3. Now he gets one from Butterbean.
Yeah, Butterbean there gave a hip check to Matt Crafton that would make NHL great Ty Domi proud. That was an impressive move by the short track ace here as Butterbean takes that spot away.
And Brendan Butterbean Queen is going to have to run for all he's worth right now because Matt Crafton would take a shot if he could find a shot. Butterbean, though, able to pull away off 4.
You can say the same about Connor Jones, who has gotten into Matt Crafton a couple of times here tonight. Jones able to make the pass a couple of laps ago. They are deep in the running order in the 14th, 15th, and 16th positions. Talking about Connor Jones, Brendan Queen, and Matt Crafton. Up front, battle for the lead, tightening up with Gio Ruggiero and Brent Cruz.
Gio Ruggiero's got the spot, but Cruz is right there on his back bumper, has not allowed him to get away. Pretty good battle back toward the tail end or just outside the top 10. That's where Caden Honeycutt takes the bottom lane, trying to move underneath Lane Riggs.
He'll be successful in that endeavor. Good drive by Caden Honeycutt. Lane Riggs, no fight in the truck on that particular set of corners as we're down to just 80 laps to go as the field rumbles to the backstretch.
Ty Majeski's got some problems as well. He's trapped up in that outside lane, lost a couple of spots, slams it back down into the low line across the nose of Honeycutt.
Corey Heim able to make the pass on Ty Majeski just into the top 10. Front 7 trucks on the racetrack right now stayed out, make it the top 8. That has to be frustrating, Alex, for the drivers that were just on pit road a few laps ago during the stage break. Corey Heim, Ty Majeski, Caden Honeycutt, all having a tough time moving forward here.
Yeah, they are. As Heim went to the inside of the backstretch, Connor Mosak put the block on. Heim did not take it. He shoved him out of the way. Now Heim goes even with Connor Mosak. Behind them, they're stacked up 2 wide as well.
They've got Mosak hung up in that outside lane. Caden Honeycutt is pinned up top behind him and now fighting for his life. Diving down to the inside. Here comes Ty Majeski under Mosak.
Mosak in the outside lane. Ty Majeski on the bottom. Now he will follow in the tire tracks of Corey Heim, who is trying to move his way back up through the field. Still a 2-way race up front. It's a good one for the lead. Gio Ruggiero, Brent Cruz, 2 drivers not part of the playoff picture, but would love nothing more than a win here later tonight. Jack Wood a distant third. The stack up from 4th on back begins with Bailey Curry, Chandler Smith, and Daniel Hemrick.
Hemrick has rebounded nicely from some rather substantial damage earlier tonight. He's busted his way into the top 10 and is looking for more on his back bumper. Corey LaJoie and Corey Heim.
Hemrick is running in the number 6 spot. He's the highest running playoff contender here at this point in the race with 75 laps to go. However, on the point tally, Hemrick still needs to win. He's 34 points behind Kyle, but things are tightening up on the points front from second on back. Again, Corey Heim's already clinched to the championship 4.
Ty Majeski is in by just 9. Lane Riggs by 3. Tyler Ankrum by 1 over Caden Honeycutt, who is in 5th. Then you get back to Rajah Caruth, who is out of this event, 19 points back. Daniel Hemrick, 34 points back, doing everything he could possibly do to come up through the field after early race issues. Grant Enfinger has also had issues and is 34 points back, but still a long way to go, 73 laps to run.
So we continue to watch. You mentioned that Hemrick is the highest running playoff contender. Tyler Ankrum, for those playoff drivers still on the track, is the deepest. He is 19th after a pit gun malfunction, lost track position. But Chris Wilner, are there more problems?
Potentially is, Alex. He came over the radio and said the right rear fuel's off. The crew now is looking at the truck as it goes around Martinsville Speedway, sees the brake rotors glowing. They potentially feel like they may have a brake issue on that McAnally Hilgeman Chevrolet. Again, you mentioned running 19th in that tight points battle, just +1, so they're keeping an eye on it. But Tyler Ankrum complaining of an ill-handling truck, possibly losing the brakes here at Martinsville, something that you desperately need with these tight corners.
Still 71 laps to go for Tyler Ankrum at the back half of the top 20 right now, just behind Ben Rhodes in the 19th position and nearly a half a lap behind this ongoing battle for the lead with Gio Ruggiero and Brent Cruz.
And it has been an entertaining battle as they threaded their way through some lap traffic. Cruz in particular changing 3 lanes at a time, trying to find an expedient way around the lap machine of Alan Waller.
They have the benefit of a 3.3 second lead over third place Jack Wood. Finally, the lead duo can settle this between themselves with no more lap traffic for the moment.
And a 3.3 second lead amounts to almost the entire length of the back straightaway. Brent Cruz putting the heat on Gio off turn 4.
Has had several looks inside and out. Has Brent Cruz on Gio Ruggiero for the race lead, but unable to make a move as of yet as he sets him up again off of turn 2.
He may have to break out the snowplow here because Gio Ruggiero is not coming off the bottom of the racetrack. He has run a very consistent line. Cruz can't find any room underneath him.
I'm impressed with the 17-year-old from Hickory, North Carolina, Brent Cruz, in only his 9th career Craftsman Truck Series start, exercising great patience.
Indeed, a couple of very talented young drivers at the front of this field from very different parts of the country, but putting on a great show right now at the front of the pack.
Top 2 able to break away, 4 seconds behind them. We find Corey Heim, who's beginning to make his way to the front of the field. Took him a little while after the restart to get his rhythm, but once he found it, here he comes. He is into the 5th spot, bypassed Bailey Curry a lap ago, and is quickly closing in on Jack Wood and Chandler Smith that ride just in front of him, battling for 3rd. Up front, battle for the lead is on. Cruz again stepping out of line in turn 1.
Brent Cruz at long last just gave the tiniest little love tap to Gio Ruggiero. That's all it took. Ruggiero opened the door down low. Cruz ran on through, and now he's going to try and pull away.
Well, he's going to have to deal with 4 lap trucks as well. Frankie Muniz only some 10 truck lengths in front of this lead battle. Those 4 trucks at the tail end of the field running for their lives as the leaders approach.
Frankie Muniz, Justin Carroll dead ahead as well as the leaders begin to thread their way down the back straightaway into turn 3. Andres Perez de Lara in that group of trucks as well.
Cruz, a 4-time ARCA winner this year, race leader here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Martinsville, and Dave is pulling away by a couple of truck lengths from Gio Ruggiero.
Yeah, he's got a really good race truck. I know we've mentioned that a couple of times tonight, but it remains true. He dives down to the inside. He'll put 2 trucks behind him in the lap car line.
And a great battle for the number 3 spot with 3 trucks. Jack Wood, Chandler Smith, Corey Heim, all of them right there. They spill up off of turn number 4. Jack Wood slips just a bit. Here comes Corey Heim, wedges his way down to the bottom of the racetrack.
What a move by Corey Heim, just shoehorning his way to the bottom of the racetrack on Jack Wood. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Wood looking to retaliate, but I don't think he's got the speed.
He thought about it, peeked to the inside going into turn number 3 on Corey Heim, but didn't have the speed or the line upon entry into the corner and has to settle for the 5th position. Heim reeling in Chandler Smith in 2nd. And they're all reeling
Trouble,
in.
turn 3, around goes the Alan Waller machine. Backs Gets it up to the outside retaining wall as the field takes evasive action downstairs.
That'll put us under the caution flag for the 7th time tonight with 60 laps to go in the Slim Jim 200. The problem happened in front of Dave Moody.
It's been a handful of a night for young Alan Waller in that Ford. He's been struggling throughout the evening. Just came out from under him as he applied the brakes heading into turn 3.
Caution is out for the 6th time here this evening at the Martinsville Speedway with 60 laps to go. Just about to mention Gio Ruggiero, the former race leader, was beginning to lose ground to the current race leader in Brent Cruz. Is there an issue with that truck, Steve Post?
I'm sorry, what was that question again?
Gio Ruggiero in the 2nd spot.
I figured that was the question, but I wanted to confirm, Kyle. Yes, they are going to attempt to go the whole distance here. It was close, and Jeremy Donnelly, the crew chief, said with the number of caution periods we had early, they feel like that they can go the distance on it right now. So that's the game plan. They also believe that Brent Cruz doesn't have enough fuel to go to the end. I think their biggest concern right now is 2 spots behind him, though. Corey Heim is climbing the leaderboard really quick. So that's the story on the 2nd place driver, on Gio Ruggiero. Chris Wilner, you have Brent Cruz pit. What are they saying there?
I do, Steve, and this actually caution was the saving grace they needed. Jacob Hampton thought they were about a couple laps short, as you mentioned, to making it to the end, but they said we needed a caution, and sure enough, not only, but maybe 1 or 2 laps later, here it is. So they told Brent Cruz, max save, shut everything off that you don't need, cool suit if you're running it, any extra fans, just make sure that you keep the truck as idle as possible, and we potentially can make it here at the end. So Brent Cruz loves his race truck. Now that caution may just give them enough fuel to the end.
Pit lane remains closed for the moment with just 58 laps remaining.
Drivers, start your engines. Slim Jim is going full throttle. Snap into a Slim Jim, America's favorite meat stick, and hear that iconic snap echo like a clean pit stop. Looking for bold flavor? We're talking horsepower for your mouth. Smoky, spicy, no speed limit. When the green flag drops, hammer down on the taste of victory with Slim Jim. Snap into a Slim Jim.
Don't risk losing the trusted news, traffic, sports, and weather you get from AM radio stations. It's time to make your voice heard. We need Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars. When internet and cell services are out, AM could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179 and tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
The message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Still under the caution flag, pit lane is open, and we'll see if anybody elects to come to pit road here as the field makes their way onto the backstretch. Again, the entrance to pit lane at Martinsville Speedway to drivers left going into turn number 3. Here's Brent Cruz, as we heard the report from Chris Wilner that they're a little tight on Sunoco fuel. He will stay on the racetrack, as will 2nd place Gio Ruggiero. Here's Jack Wood, the 5th place truck, will opt to come to pit lane. Wendy Venturini, Jack Wood headed in.
Jack Wood had just been passed by Corey Heim, and they came over the radio and told Jack, listen, if you take time to push him out of the way, you're wasting time for both of you. So they were happy where they were with the truck, but this was the plan all along for crew chief Josh Graham to bring him down pit road closer to lap 150. Bring him down, it's going to be 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, and a track bar adjustment. Now, Jack Wood did not want to give up track position, but he felt he had nothing left in his truck. So it's 4 fresh tires, and get a little aggressive on this restart. Let's head over to Steve.
Wendy, we've talked about the recovery for Daniel Hemrick. Remember, Daniel Hemrick has to win this race. They've got the truck good. They've got the truck so it cools down nicely. They didn't have track position and they didn't have tires. They just brought them in. 4 new Goodyear Racing Eagles. I know they're going to lose that track position, but they are going to have the freshest tires, and they're going to need to run through this field. They are not point racing. They have to get the win. This was their only shot with brand new tires here with 56 laps to go.
There's a lot of trucks still in the lead lap, however. 26 trucks left on the lead lap, with only 55 laps remaining from Martinsville Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts 50 years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole patch, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
Back here at the Martinsville Speedways, we are yet to get the one-to-go signal. So here's a look at who's getting it done out on the track right now, presented by Craftsman. Mid-project regret syndrome? Well, not on your watch. Power up your DIY game, literally, with the Craftsman V20 lineup. One battery system, 100-plus products, and a million reasons to build on. Learn more at Craftsman.com.
Corey Heim's getting it done right now toward the front of the field. Although he is not leading the race, he gained 8 spots since the last restart back on lap 112. We're at lap 147 right now. Highest up in the running order with the freshest tires. Look for him to go to the front. He's been getting it done nearly all year, breaking records, although hasn't led a whole lot tonight. 59 laps, still a few shy of that season-high record that Mike Skinner set back in 1996.
He needed 83 laps led to set that record, and as we go right now, not too many more. 27 or so of those laps, 24, 27, I can't do math. As they work their way down the backstretch, side by side. Interesting on the lane choice here for these drivers. Corey Heim's going to opt to start on the outside lane, outside second row. So he's banking on a good restart from Gio Ruggiero, who's right in front of him.
His teammate for Gio Ruggiero, those Tricon Garage Toyotas lined up in the outside lane, set for the restart. Brent Cruz to the inside, has Chandler Smith behind him. Green is out, and the outside lane does not go. Inside with a bit of an advantage, led by Cruz.
Brent Cruz by half a truck length, 3/4 of a truck length. He'll drive away and take the lead. Cruz back to the top spot. Now that high lane, Gio Ruggiero and Corey Heim are going to have to fight for their lives as they're lined up underneath them.
Further back, Daniel Hemrick getting the bums rush. He got bottlenecked on the restart when the inside lane didn't go just as quickly, but Hemrick losing a lot of spots. The cars and trucks head their way to the backstretch.
Side-by-side battle for the number 2 position. Chandler Smith on the inside. Gio Ruggiero rim riding the high groove.
Ruggiero outside lane to the inside. Chandler Smith battle for second, allows Brent Cruz to break away at the front.
Corey Heim waiting patiently, at least for the moment, for a verdict on that 2-wide battle in front of him. But you're right, Brent Cruz is getting away. He's gone by about 8 truck lengths.
They make their way back into turn number 3. Inside lane again begins to prevail the longer we put green flag laps down. Chandler Smith the second. Now Gio Ruggiero stuck on the outside lane. It's occupied downstairs by Corey Heim.
Heim is going to go to the inside and try and bypass Ruggiero off turn 2 to the back straightaway. They're nose to nose. Right behind them, Lane Riggs closing in.
Lane Riggs looking on in the 5th position, has nowhere to go right now as they're stacked up side by side in front of him. Corey Heim to the inside of Gio Ruggiero for 3rd.
Caden Honeycutt beginning to close in on that battle as well. They have log jammed things with that side by side 3rd and 4th place battle into 3.
Each position is worth 1 championship point. Here's Corey Heim to the inside of the Gio Ruggiero truck. Lane Riggs is looking on. I bring up the points, Kyle, because outside of Heim, who's already clinched, things couldn't be much tighter from second on back.
Ty Majeski is in by 5. Lane Riggs by 2. Tyler Ankrum by 2. That's how tight it is for the drivers that are currently in the top 4. outside. Caden Honeycutt by just 2 positions on the racetrack, 2 points on the scoreboard. Then you get back to Rajah Caruth, who is out of this race, 26
Trouble
points
turn number
back.
1. Tony Breidinger gets turned, slides up the racetrack, pounds the outside safer barrier, got a little shot in the left rear quarter panel of her truck. Just in front of her, Patrick Starpoli went for a spin as well. The eye surgeon, Harvard-educated eye surgeon in Houston, Texas, Patrick Starpoli, refires his blue and white Syvovre entry and heads back out, while Tony Breidinger's got a badly damaged race truck trying to get it refired.
Tried to pull that truck off the outside wall up in turn number 1, kind of hung up right now on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to back up onto the surface, but a tough break for Tony Breidinger, who went for a ride, caught the outside wall after some 2 and 3 wide racing in the middle of the field. Patrick Starapoli also able to pull away with minimal damage. As we go down to the pit lane, Chris Wilner.
And an update, Kyle, on Ty Majeski. You mentioned how he was just 5 points to the good right before the yellow. He did come over the radio during that last run and said the brake pedal starting to go to the floor. Joe Scheer Jr., the crew chief, did check in and said, how is it? He has not yet responded, but also did respond with saying this truck is completely different than what the first 2 runs were. So not happy with the handling, but now working with a brake issue. They told him to cycle the fans, maybe having an issue there, but trying to work through a possible brake problem for Ty Majeski, the defending champ.
There was a penalty on that restart. We talked about the inside lane that didn't refire as quickly as the outside lane. That sent trucks inside and out. I mentioned Daniel Hemrick, who lost a handful of positions on that. He took evasive action trying to get out of the way to try to prevent any damage to his truck like he had earlier in the race on a restart. Doing that was a penalty, a restart violation by not staying in the line until you get to the start-finish line. So Daniel Hemrick will have to deal with this penalty as the caution flag flies. So instead of a pass-through penalty, he's going to have to drop to the tail end of the field.
Was running in the 22nd position after his latest pit stop just a couple of laps ago prior to the caution flag, and now will be even deeper in the running order, but I can't say I blame him after the incident earlier in the race when the inside lane stacked up. That's where he got his initial damage here tonight. So it's been a tough night for Daniel Hemrick on these restarts.
Pit lane is open. Here's Gio Ruggiero coming off the racetrack from his position. He's going to scoot his way down, as does championship contender Grant Enfinger, also coming to pit road. 42 laps remaining in tonight's race. A painfully slow pit road speed working their way down. Let's cover the Grant Enfinger stop.
Grant Enfinger comes to the attention of the crew. It's going to be 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. This was the only play they felt like they had in the playbook left, as Grant Enfinger said, I can't catch the rest of the field on the same set of tires. Let's go ahead and bolt our final set, although there's a problem now getting the jack underneath the left side. Painfully slow pit stop as they now finally get the right or left side tires on. The car or the truck drops off the jack and down and away. But again, Grant Enfinger going to have a lot more work to do now with fresh tires here in this final run. Steve Post.
Gio Ruggiero came in. He was 5th. Jeremy Donnelly went over it with him on the radio. He said, Gio, you're 5th. You know what you have compared to everybody else. I can leave you out there and let you ride and hang on and hold that spot and try to gain a spot or 2, or we can come in and get on offense from about the 20th spot. They went back and forth on it, and finally Jeremy Donnelly said, just pit. And so in they came, 4 tires. They topped it off with Sunoco Racing fuel, and they've got fresh tires. Daniel Hemrick, bless his heart, he's back in, and that engine has started to overheat again, and they've had to cool it down one more time. It has been a rough night for Daniel Hemrick, as he's still here on pit road, and he gained a spot, but I think he's lost a lap now in this, along with the penalty. It's been a rough day at the office for Daniel Hemrick.
With 26 trucks still on the lead lap, talking about Daniel Hemrick, he's going to have to come back up through the field again. And Grant Enfinger, Alex, probably going to need some help as laps continue to tick away here. We'll be within 40 laps of the finish of this race once we do go back under the green flag.
Yeah, it's going to be tough sledding there to try to climb the leaderboard, but the hope you have now for like a Grant Enfinger's fresh Goodyear tires, and they are worth quite a bit here. Problem being is there's not a whole lot of room, Dave Moody, when you race at Martinsville Speedway.
No, under the best of circumstances, it is very cramped quarters. In desperation times like this, when you're trying to pass 20 or 30 trucks to get yourself back into contention and save a title spot, boy, that's a long road to hoe for somebody like Daniel Hemrick.
And Grant Enfinger, who's now 51 points below the cut line in the 7th spot on the playoff grid. So, he's going to need some help as well here tonight. As we go back down to the pit lane, and we'll check in with Chris in a moment as we'll get the 1-to-go signal here shortly. Brent Crews continuing the lead.
Yeah, Chris mentioned a moment ago, and Chris will follow up with you on this, with Ty Majeski having a brake issue that reported a little bit earlier. Has it gotten any better, or has it gotten progressively worse?
Well, I mentioned during that report that they were waiting on a response from their driver as far as asking about the potential brake issue. He has since been silent. There has been no conversations on the radio. So for Joe Scheer Jr. and the crew, I guess silence is a good thing. That means it's certainly not going to be worse. But again, the problem for him right now certainly has been the handling, and that's what they really are kind of left with, because obviously they stayed out on the racetrack. But Ty's going to have to get elbows up here. But as far as the brake pedal is concerned, I think we're going to be okay to at least get to the end.
Field double up in there, rows of 2, set for the restart here. It'll be 38 laps to go this time by in the Slim Jim 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. A lot still up in the air as far as who will run for a championship next week in the Championship 4 at Phoenix. Corey Heim, the only driver locked in coming into tonight, and remains the only driver locked in as we are set for the restart. Pace truck on the pit lane.
Here they come to the restart zone. Grant Enfinger on the fresh tires. Restarts 22nd with 38 to go. Green flag goes back in the air, and they're thundering their way right back down to the bottom of turn 2.
Brent Crews with the advantage on the inside line. He'll pull away from Chandler Smith down the back straightaway. Smith trying to stuff it back into the low groove. He gets hit from behind by Corey Heim. Heim at his foot in the door. Smith saves it. Heim is through on the inside.
Smith shift up the racetrack in turn number 3. Corey Heim to the inside to take the runner-up spot away.
Chandler Smith now stuck in that outside line, and he's going to have a fight on his hands. Corey Heim downstairs takes over second place. Down to the bottom, here comes Riggs. He wants third.
On his teammate Chandler Smith, the Front Row Motorsports Fords doing battle there for that position. Chandler Smith aggressively cuts right back across the nose.
Lane Riggs got a little bit sideways coming off turn number 4. It gave Chandler Smith the little peak of daylight that he needed to cut back down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's got third now.
Daniel Hemrick back on the pit lane along with Bailey Curry, who has shown a lot of smoke the last couple of laps since the restart. He's on pit road as Brent Crews brings the field back to turn 2.
Off turn number 2 and to the back straightaway. Crews again has rocketed away to a fairly healthy margin. It's about 8, maybe 9 car lengths over Corey Heim.
Now with just 34 laps to go, eyes now shift back to Tyler Ankrum, who's back in the 11th spot, stuck on the outside lane, tries to wedge his way to the inside of Corey LaJoie. He cannot afford to lose more positions right now. He's only 2 points in.
LaJoie saw him coming through a block to the inside. Tyler Ankrum happy, I think, just to be back in single file formation right now, but he is far from out of the woods.
Ankrum 2 points in over Caden Honeycutt, who's racing among the top 5 right now in 5th, and he's looking for more on Lane Riggs.
Caden Honeycutt looking to the inside on Riggs as they exit turn number 2. There's nothing there. Crews with the lead. About 7 truck lengths back to Corey Heim. Another 5 back to the third place machine of Chandler Smith.
And then about a truck length back to 4th place runner Lane Riggs. Another truck length to 5th place Caden Honeycutt off turn 2.
Honeycutt could very much use another spot or 2. He's working hard to get him right now, but he's in some pretty fast company with Lane Riggs right in front of him.
Lane Riggs in the 4th spot. Caden Honeycutt 5th. Tanner Gray a distant 6th. Up front, battle for the lead tightening up. Crews and Corey Heim beginning to close in.
Yeah, to the surprise of nobody, Corey Heim has begun to reel in the leader, Brent Crews, as Crews makes his way into turn number 1. 1 lap truck between them. That's the Bailey Curry machine.
Checking on Grant Enfinger with the fresh tires. Restarted 22nd. Only been able to climb up to the 16th position. They're still stacked up double wide in front of Enfinger. Lots to keep track of. An exciting race here in Martinsville.
A lot of people racing in situations right now, Alex, where 1 position lost, 1 position gained could make a huge difference. Crunch time here in Martinsville.
Grant Enfinger still 45 points out of the top 4, so a long way to climb and nearly a must win here tonight. Still deep in the field with 29 laps to go. Over in turn 3, the race leader, Brent Crews, has built a 1.2 second advantage over Corey Heim. Nearly the same length back to Chandler Smith in 3rd, Lane Riggs in 4th, Caden Honeycutt 5th. Good race with Tanner Gray and Ty Majeski for 6th.
They are nose to tail, 6th and 7th. off turn 2 to the back straightaway. Majeski, for the moment, hasn't really been able to mount much of a challenge. Butterbean Queen, another 2 truck lengths back.
Tyler Ankrum further back, trying to get to the inside of Connor Jones to add another point to his tally. Jones is strong, going to race him tough. This is ongoing fight for the number 10 spot.
Tyler Ankrum trying to wedge his way to the inside on the Connor Jones machine off turn 2. He'll follow in his tire tracks. They're only a couple of truck lengths behind the Corey LaJoie machine. Contact now. Ankrum moves Jones up the track.
Jones in the 10th position. Tyler Ankrum 11th, and they are side by side for that spot as they go back to turn 1.
Ankrum now on the inside. Connor Jones on the outside. Jones gets a pretty good run off the top of turn number 2. Almost had him cleared on the entrance of 3.
Got to be careful as Tyler Ankrum. He and Connor Jones again bounce off of each other off turn number 4. Still wheel to wheel, they race for the number 10 spot back to turns 1 and 2.
He's got to be careful, but he's also got to go. He does not have the luxury of time or space. He needs some spots, and he's not going to get one here. Connor Jones back down in front of him in turn 3.
One slip by Ankrum, and he is out. Just 2 to the good right now over Caden Honeycutt, who is solidly running in the top 5 as we go back to turn number 1. Let's go to the care center and hear from Daniel Hemrick.
Daniel Hemrick back here in the garage area. Daniel, it started with a dust up there on a restart. Just what all did you deal with here over the course of this race? Put you out.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to really fight for it, and the normal accordion on the restarts is kind of something you look for, especially where I was at, and thought that got sorted, and I'm not sure if somebody then missed a shift on top of that. I was trying to get stopped, and obviously everybody's kind of running through each other at that point. So unfortunate, but definitely just a total loss. The number 19 Napa Night Vision Chevrolet. Just disappointed, right? Just not having a chance to really even go fight for it. Was really hoping to make it 4 in a row for this 19 team, and just not meant to be. But yeah, I was just saying earlier, right? You got to be your best over this couple of week stretch, and we just didn't have it fall our way. But yeah, God's good, and all the time God is good, and I'm going to continue on and try to stay humble in victory, gracious in defeat. That's what we're going to do.
That is Daniel Hemrick.
9th caution flag of the race is flying. Full contact racing in front of Dave Moody.
There was indeed the losing end of the deal belongs to Connor Mosack. Grant Enfinger, Gio Ruggiero, and Mosack were all racing hard for position. A little bit of contact on the entrance to turn number 3. Mosack spun and backed it hard into the outside wall.
And that puts us under the caution flag for the 9th time tonight. 21 laps to go. It's Brent Cruz over Corey Heim, Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs, and Caden Honeycutt.
Boring Snacks, we have a yellow flag. Please pull into Flavor Pit Lane. Leave bland snacks in the dust and snap into a Slim Jim. With its iconic snap and bold, smoky flavor, Slim Jim is the perfect snack to fuel your race day. When it's go time, you don't coast, and neither does Slim Jim. Snap into a Slim Jim and enjoy the taste of victory.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered, NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Chris Wilner. Join me each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We'll also talk with rising stars from your favorite short track. Once again, it's NASCAR Coast to Coast, and you can watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Continuing under the caution flag now with 19 laps to go, keeping an eye on Grant Enfinger, who has gained 9 spots since he was on pit road last a couple of laps ago on the last restart under that short round of green flag racing. Just outside of the top 10 right now, will restart 13th, so Enfinger not out of this one yet as the points are tight. So is it the racing up front. We'll come back to wrap this one up with 18 laps to go. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Gear up. Visit the NASCAR shop online to find all of your favorite officially licensed NASCAR product. The NASCAR shop is the official online store of NASCAR and your destination for all of your favorite hats, t-shirts, die-casts, and more. Whether tailgating, home gating, or anything in between, visit NASCAR.com/shop for the widest assortment and best selection of NASCAR gear today.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
This is Corey Heim. The race to the championship is on. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series playoffs are only on the NASCAR Racing Network. Now back to the race.
Laps continuing to click off here at the Bartonsville Speedway under the 9th caution flag of the evening. 63 of the 183 laps run thus far have been under the caution. That's not necessarily good news for Grant Enfinger, who's going to need every green flag lap possible to go from his current 13th position to the front of the field on new tires, and at the same time pass the likes of Brent Cruz and Corey Heim.
No, and Grant Enfinger, a longtime veteran, certainly doesn't wish bad luck on anybody, but he'd take it if everybody in front of him decided to get physical and wreck each other and give him a better shot and another caution to kind of leapfrog that. It's pretty much where he's at. He's got new tires or newer tires on his truck, but he just simply has not had the raw speed here all day long to have that type of race-winning truck. He's got a tall order in front of him. We get the one to go now. Time to choose what lane to restart in.
Enfinger currently 7th on the playoff grid, still 42 points out of the top 4. When it comes to the drivers that are currently in, Ty Majeski has a whopping 4-point cushion over Lane Riggs. He is 2 points to the good, as is Tyler Ankrum. -2, Caden Honeycutt. Every position is going to matter over the course of these next 16 laps.
You cannot have any problems by your own doing or someone else's. But this is nail-biting time here. There'll be 15 laps to go when they get back around to take the green flag. Can't make mistakes, but you also can't get run over. And restarts tonight, Kyle, have been very interesting.
About to have another one here. 15 laps to go. Pace truck on the pit lane. Here they come off of turn 4. Brent Cruz to the inside. Corey Heim in the outside lane. Green flag from Rich Keeter. We are back underway. Heim with the advantage in turn 1. Here comes Cruz back to the bottom off turn 2.
Boy, and a big move by Caden Honeycutt. He dives to the bottom of the racetrack, slides to the inside. Will take the 3rd spot away from Chandler Smith with Riggs in tow.
Up front, Brent Cruz slid up the track, got into Corey Heim, moved him out of the way. Trouble back in turn number 3. One truck goes for a spin. Caution is on the speedway with now 14 laps to go. The truck spinning over here up off of turn number 4 was Bailey Curry. He's going to refire that truck and continue on, but Kyle, we're going to re-rack them and do it again.
A solo spin for Bailey Curry and got that truck fired back up just as the caution flag came out. 10th one of the night, 13 laps to go. And the points tighten up even more for the 4th spot. Caden Honeycutt is now in by 1 point over Lane Riggs. Tyler Ankrum still 2 to the good. Ty Majeski just 3 points to the good in the 2nd spot.
And that happened because Lane Riggs got shoved wide on the restart. Chandler Smith got by, Caden Honeycutt got by. That one maneuver in that one corner at the Martinsville Speedway now has Lane Riggs on the outside looking in if he wants to be a part of the Championship 4. And Lane Riggs has gone from being the hunted to the hunter.
The only driver locked into the Championship 4, and we've documented it for the last couple of weeks. Corey Heim picked up the first race win in the round of 8 at the Charlotte Roval a couple of weeks ago. Ran well last week at the Talladega Superspeedway, leading here tonight as we go to pit road and Wendy Venturini.
Lane Riggs currently in that position on this restart. Now, keep in mind, early on in the race, Lane Riggs had an issue on a restart leading the race where he shifted and he missed the shift. He's had a gear and transmission issue this whole entire race. It will not stay in 3rd and 4th gear for Lane Riggs. So that is something to watch for on this restart. When you have to shift through those gears, and missing it this late in the race can cause some issues. He's currently running 4th.
As if he didn't have enough to worry about, just trying to make to the Championship 4 round next week at Phoenix to try to win a championship. He's got to make sure the truck can stay in gear and try to get those positions back. As they come down to the line, we will not get the one to go this time by with 11 laps to go.
Don't forget, we're back here tomorrow at the Martinsville Speedway. The NASCAR Cup Series will open up the day at 4:30 Eastern Time with practice and qualifying for their race on Sunday. That action can be heard on the Motor Racing Network. The NASCAR Xfinity Series will be in competition tomorrow night as they set their championship for 7 o'clock tomorrow night under the lights here at the Martinsville Speedway. And then we'll be set to go with the NASCAR Cup Series, wrapping up a busy race weekend on Sunday afternoon. 1 o'clock our airtime here on MRN. For Sunday afternoon, the Xfinity 500 and another tight championship battle there. Looking forward to Phoenix next week.
Yeah, it really is. All weekend. This is what fans come to Martinsville Speedway for here in the month of November, to determine who's going to be championship for and compete for a championship the following week. This year at the Phoenix Raceway, next year at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Look, the hills all around Martinsville Speedway are just alive with campfires and RVs and tents all over this place. There's a lot of people here trying to determine or watch who determines who goes to the championship for us. We've just gotten the one to go here.
Had a champion crown last night on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour here at Martinsville. Austin Beers picking up his first championship. Justin Bonsignor just fell short of his 5th title, but was able to take the win last night in the championship race for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Set to settle this one here for the trucks. Corey Heim brings the field off of turn number 4. We'll have 9 laps to run as the pace truck on the pit lane. Field in the restart zone. There's the green flag. Corey Heim, Caden Honeycutt having a tough time coming up to speed as they go back to 1.
Heim is long gone. He is away by a full truck length with the lead by the time they get to turn number 2. Caden Honeycutt regroups. He'll slide in line in the 2nd spot. Brent Cruz 3rd to the inside of Chandler Smith.
8 laps to go further back. Tyler Ankrum, absolutely a bull right now. He needs points if he wants to race in the championship 4. They go back to turn 1 now. He got 1 spot. He's +2 to the good.
Tyler Ankrum trying to log jam his way to the inside of the racetrack. Trucks dodging and diving everywhere down the back straightaway. Ankrum to the inside now, trying to pick up another spot.
Lane Riggs squeezing Ty Majeski into the outside wall off of turn 2. Majeski's going to lose a couple of spots. Lane Riggs knows he needs to go because he's out by 2.
Riggs is up to the number 5 position. He either needs to gain 2 or somebody else has to lose 2. Tyler Ankrum is on the charge again. He shoehorns his way to the inside of Majeski.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the points, +2. That's it. As they race their way back to turn 2, and a battle for the lead shapes up.
Caden Honeycutt is all over Corey Heim off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Honeycutt, every point. Oh, they're piling up off turn number 2. A log jam on the back straightaway. First truck that spun was Connor Jones.
Off the front bumper, I believe, of Ty Majeski as they were racing hot and heavy for a position into the top 10. Majeski is 9th, and he knows he has to go because he is now 4th, +1 on the playoff grid, Chris Wilner.
And unfortunately for Ty Majeski, he just came over the radio and said it's either a right front flat or something's bent. It's not running right, but guys, this isn't good. They're telling him to stay out on the racetrack, but they'll diagnose it here under this caution flag. Certainly don't want to be down pit road, but he was going the wrong direction right before that caution and unfortunately led to some contact.
Yeah, he slid way up the track and pounded the safer barrier off turn 2 a couple of laps back. And yeah, when he was going through the corners, that truck was bouncing up and down, working its way through turns 1 and 2, and that's where he rolled out of the throttle and caused the log jam where Connor Jones got turned around back there off turn number 2, and that will Well, it looks like we're going to head to overtime. We're not officially there yet. We're 4 laps away from overtime, but we got to go through our pit procedures and make sure the track is cleaned up. So we're going to be awfully close to headed to overtime.
Playoff driver Grant Infinger, the driver that turned the truck off of turn number 2. That's Connor Jones that sent him into a spin. Everybody able to pull away with some minor damage potentially, including keeping an eye on the Ty Majeski truck after that contact in turn number 2. Remember, he is just 1 point to the good right now with just 3 laps to go here in this race.
Caden Honeycutt was putting the challenge on for the race lead and potentially for the win, Steve Post.
Yeah, and remember in the spring, and Caden actually referenced this in our pre-race interview, that he got into Corey Heim and got Corey Heim out of the way and wasn't really happy with the way he went. They just had a conversation, Jimmy Villanueva, the crew chief on the Caden Honeycutt truck. He says, that guy is going to ride you clean. Corey Heim is the cleanest racer here. He's going to run you clean, and you are going to run him clean also. Caden came on the radio and said, unlike I did in the spring, I am going to run him clean. We have a better truck, but I am going to make sure I run him clean. So we talk about roughing each other up. The front two are talking about running each other clean. How about that? That's novel here at Martinsville.
It is. But Caden Honeycutt, keep in mind, is also moving over to that team. And effectively, that truck that is in front of him that he needs to race clean, driven by Corey Heim, is the truck he'll be driving next year. So there's another reason or two you might want to play nice here at Martinsville. Even though trying to get your first career Craftsman Truck Series win is right here in front of you, that carrot is just dangling right there, as indeed we are going to overtime here tonight.
Want the win, and you also want to make sure you're in that championship 4 next week at the Phoenix Raceway, and it is tight right now for Caden Honeycutt. Second on the racetrack and just 2 points to the good over the 98 of Ty Majeski, who is fourth. Majeski in by 1 right now over Lane Riggs. And Lane, we talked about his transmission issues on the last few restarts. Restarted in the 5th spot a couple laps ago, and that's where he runs right now as we head to overtime.
If you're wondering about tiebreakers, if they end up tied, the tiebreaker system is your best finish of this round of the playoffs. So between Ty Majeski and Lane Riggs, Majeski has a 3rd place finish in this round. Well, Riggs only has a 5th place finish. So the tiebreaker would belong to Ty Majeski. No, he doesn't want to have to go to a tiebreaker scenario. And after the report we heard just a moment ago, some damage to the truck, not sure what it is or how bad it is, he's just going to have to man up here and try to get through this overtime, which is a green-white checkered scenario, if it's the only one that we have.
We talk about Honeycutt, Majeski, Riggs, all separated by 2. How about Tyler Ankrum? He is second on the grid right now, but only in by 4 points.
To his credit, he was down to just 1 point to the good. That last restart, he was aggressive and went and got 3 more positions, as we're getting the 1-to-go signal this time by to find out who's going to choose what lane. The outside lane works for a couple of laps. Is it enough, though, for some of these drivers? Lane Riggs is going to choose the outside lane, as does Caden Honeycutt. So it'll be Corey Heim on the bottom for the restart. Then you've got Caden Honeycutt to his right elbow. Brent Cruz to the inside of row number 2. Lane Riggs goes top side of row number 2. Chandler Smith on the bottom side of row number 3 with Gio Ruggiero right there as well, as the field makes their way into turns 3 and 4. Green-white checker, overtime here in the Slim Jim 200. Here comes the field up off turn number 4. Got to wait till you get to the restart zone. Corey Heim is crafty, very slow into the restart zone, and the green flag's in the air. Bumper cars all the way through the field. Brent Cruz looks to the inside. The battle for the lead in overtime heads to turn 2.
Cruz a little bit into the back bumper of Corey Heim, but Heim gets away. Down the back straightaway, he's got the lead. Cruz now to the inside on Caden Honeycutt for second. Here comes Riggs right behind him as they're bumping almost 3 wide.
White flag, 1 lap to go for Corey Heim. Leads the field into turn 1 for the final time.
Caden Honeycutt trying to make the run around the outside. He'll get it done. Honeycutt slides into the number 2 position, unmolested down the back straightaway. Riggs looking to the inside on Cruz.
Off turn number 4, checkered flag is out. Corey Heim's going to win the Slim Jim 200. Further back, hard racing. Lane Riggs needed 1